The officially licensed Lord of the Rings Middle-earth Premium Silver Foil is available now exclusively from New Zealand Mint, and is a must-have for all Lord of the Rings collectors and those who love a little bit of movie memorabilia like myself. Housed in its own Perspex case, it's super easy to display in your own collection. Constructed with 35 grams of fine silver, this gorgeous piece is guaranteed legal tender under authority of New A. Limited strictly to 2,000 units, make sure to grab yours now.
I know him.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Merry Christmas, everybody! Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast, Christmas movie special edition. I'm, of course, your host, Dave Lee. Oh, this music's throwing me off a little bit. I feel like I'm out of the groove a bit. It's just it's too calm. It's not lively and energetic. I just feel really, really calm. I'm in the Christmas mood.
Always the Christmas mood.
Always in the Christmas mood. When it is December, of course. Of course.
Never before December, though.
Never before December. You can't put a Christmas tree up before December. You can't start watching Christmas movies before December. You got to start bang on December, and that's what we're going to be talking about today in this very special episode. This is the first time we've actually put a little bit of effort into a special episode. We did our dodgy Halloween earlier in the year.
Dodgy's not the word for it.
But we felt like putting in a little bit more effort today.
Especially
for this.
Your costume.
My costume, my Borat. I don't want to bring that back out again.
Terrible.
Oh, my Lord. What were you? The sheet ghost?
Yep. The
white sheet ghost. Let's not talk about that. Of course, we're here for the Christmas show. We've got Christmas hats on. We're in our beautifully Christmassy, decked out podcasting studio today. It's feeling very festive. Of course, this episode is going out on all podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible. The visual element goes out on YouTube on the same day, on the Monday, but it also goes out 2 days earlier to Patreon supporters. If you'd like to support for as little as $1 a month, you can head to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under, and you can get your early access to that and videos and more. You can, of course, find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, on Twitter, Instagram, the Letterboxd as well. You can find links for all of those down the bottom. You can click straight through and head on over and give some support. Oh, I'm loving this music. It's beautiful. If you want to write into the show, you can, of course, shoot an email over to daveleepod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on podcasting platforms, please leave a review. It's been a while since we've had one.
But only leave good ones.
Only good ones. Of course, this episode is once again sponsored by the New Zealand Mint in celebration of their brand new Lord of the Rings line of collectibles.
It's awesome, too.
It's very, very cool. We spoke about it last week.
Yeah, it's great.
You saw a little ad at the beginning, or heard the little ad at the beginning of the podcast right here. So, check them out at nzmint.com, and you can check out their Lord of the Rings collectible. Very cool.
And they got heaps of others too, not just Lord of the Rings, but Lord of the Rings
like
as well.
DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter,
and
Disney, Mickey Mouse.
Amazing,
so cool.
Amazing little
So
things.
cool. So thanks again to the team at New Zealand Mint for sponsoring the show and the YouTube and all that for the month of December. Of course, I've got joining me right here, you can hear his voice. It's not Santa, it's old mate Rick.
It might be as fat as Santa, but, and the beard's almost as white as Santa, but no, it's not. Hey guys, how are we all? Let's spit that out again.
Yeah.
How are we all? We're all doing well here in Melbourne now.
Yeah, we're doing very good.
Which is great. So we've had, 33, 34 days or something
like
straight now with no cases.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very good.
So 28 days, I say it's eradicated the virus. It's still out there, obviously, but, so we're still going to be careful.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be in the position we're in now.
Yeah.
When you look at, poor buggers on the other side of the world.
Yeah, I know. Well,
in the UK and
they're getting
Europe
their vaccine.
And
the vaccine rollout in the UK apparently next week or this week.
I don't wonder how good that's going to be.
Yeah, I know.
Hope it is good. Hope it is. Hope it does work. Don't want it to not work.
Yeah, well, exactly.
It's got to, there'll be a vaccine eventually that'll it'll be 100%.
Yeah.
But they're saying this one's 95%.
That's okay.
I don't know how they can tell what sort of long-term effects it's going to have on people and whatever. But
that's the big issue, isn't it? But anyway, it's a happy day.
But good on them. Hope it works.
Yeah. Trust the scientists.
Let's hope it works.
Put the trust in the scientists. That's what you got to do.
Exactly.
I went out for the first time today without wearing a mask, which is very good. Of course, you got to wear a mask when you go inside, like into a shop or something.
Yep.
But if you're in the fresh air, you don't have to wear one as long as you're not like in a crowd of people.
It's almost weird.
It's very weird. Isn't it? Very weird.
Because we've been so long having to wear them everywhere.
Yeah.
That now you're not wearing them, you feel naked.
Weird. It is very weird. Very weird.
It's nice though.
It is nice. It's just a lot more freeing, and everything's starting to open up. It feels like things are getting back to normal. Film distributors are starting to do preview screenings again.
Yeah.
We're so used to having to do all these digital screeners and stuff, but a number of the bigger studios have started to do actual screenings in person. We had tickets to one last week, but unfortunately we couldn't get to it because I was just too busy.
And you've got one tomorrow or the day after?
Do I?
Yeah, you got one.
Yeah.
Not saying what it is.
Yeah.
Not allowed to.
I'm not allowed to. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that much. I'm sure I can say that much.
You're not saying what it is.
I'm not saying what it is or who it is, but I have a screening tomorrow.
And that's why we're recording on Thursday, not Friday.
Yeah, exactly.
And a few other things going on as well.
Yeah. There's a ton of stuff. So. I've got some interviews to do and all that as well. So, I'm very excited. We are recording on a Thursday today. Of course, this is going out on the regular day, so it's no different to anyone out there listening or watching.
That's right.
But we are recording on a Thursday today, which means it's a little bit different for us. We've pulled together a show which we don't really have much news or anything. We find that
we didn't really want to make it about news.
No, we didn't want to make it about news. We want to do a big
Christmas
special.
Because those who have been listening and watching Dave for years know that we sort of do a Christmas marathon. Mm-hmm. And we'll get into that a bit later anyway.
Yeah, so that's going to be the crux of the show. We're going to be talking about sort of our favourite Christmas movies, new Christmas movies that are coming out.
That's the best thing about this. There's some great films that we watch over December.
So we're going to be talking about all our favourite ones. And we're going to be talking about, again, if you've been following me for a while, you know that we used to do these big Christmas marathons in like 25 days of Christmas. We're going to talk about how you can do your own Christmas movie marathon and sort of how to schedule that and all that. So it's very exciting. So, we didn't want to make this about news and stuff. We'll touch on a few things before we get into the Christmassy stuff. But, it's going to be an exciting show. I'm excited to actually do a special here today. So hopefully you all you enjoy it out there. Briefly, we'll talk about what we've been watching this week. Again, because it is a Thursday, there's not as much to talk about here. As far as catalogue titles go, I've only watched one, which was one called Amazon Women on the Moon, which is this 1980s sketch comedy film. Which has got Arsenio Hall, Phil Hartman, Michelle Pfeiffer, Carrie Fisher, Ed Begley Jr., Rosanna Arquette, Steve Guttenberg, Rip Taylor, Steve Allen, Mark McClure, Andrew Dice Clay. Yeah, it's literally like a sketch comedy film with just a bunch of different sketches, and there's a bunch of different directors that did a number of them. John Landis, Joe Dante, Robert K. Weiss, Carl Gottlieb. So it's literally just like, if you imagine like a feature-length version of like a Saturday Night Live or something, it is quite funny, but it's a mixed bag.
I was going to say, it sounds like something I need to have a look at.
It is actually quite good. I think you'd get a bit of a chuckle out of it.
So bad it's good.
Yeah, it is pretty bad, but when it is funny, it can be very, very, very funny. Yeah. There's this one sketch in there which is Ed Begley Jr. as the son of the Invisible Man, and he thinks he's like jacked himself up with the invisible serum, but he's not invisible.
Oh,
so he takes all his clothes off. He's running around. I'm invisible.
Oh, I think I've seen that scene.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Pretty sure I have.
Very funny. But it is a bit of a mixed bag. It goes. It's only like 80 minutes long. Some of it's not great. Some of it's really quite funny. This is one I found at JB last week for $4 during the Black Friday sales. So I was like, I'll grab that.
$4.
I got to see it. Exactly right.
So Andrew Dice Clay, I love him.
Yeah, they all sort
Ford
of
Fairlane, Hickory Dickory Dock. I won't go any further.
No, I wouldn't. Not on this family show.
No.
But yeah, it's good. Like I said, it's like all sketch pieces. So these people aren't in it for the full movie. They might be just like being a single sketch.
Yeah.
And just like appear like little cameos.
Is there anybody that's in it in the whole film, or
there's like a few that kind of recur throughout the movie, but most of them it's just like little
sketches here and there.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun.
Might have a look at that.
80-minute film.
Might have to check it.
Yeah, that was my only catalog title this week. As you know, I try and watch a movie every morning, but I've been so busy that I either haven't had time to do it, or I don't watch one before the podcast. I get up and we're planning this in the first thing in the morning. New movies. Last weekend we watched Jay and Silent Bob Reboot.
Oh God, I love Jay and Silent Bob, but that was not bad.
It was pretty.
It was
good.
okay.
I was surprised actually.
I was very surprised. It was much better than I thought it was.
I thought it was going to be really awful.
I thought it was going to be real. Oh, dreadful.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. I like the way they touched on pretty much all their films.
Yeah. Characters from all of them came in, even Dogma, like
exactly
the really
right.
obscure stuff, chasing Amy and everything. Yeah,
Mall rats.
Yeah,
all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
It was very good. It was just like a really nice way to. I don't know if they're going to do any more, but if this is the last one, nice way to tie it all up. I thought the story was really good. Like you don't expect like a nice, touching, heartwarming story to come from one of these films, but it actually is quite. Yeah. Because if you look back to like Clerks, he was obviously quite young, Kevin Smith, when he made that independent film, and now he's a father, and his daughter's probably like early 20s, maybe 18, 19, however old she is.
Late teens, early 20s.
So he's obviously got like a more, he's sobered down over time, and his story's more reflective of his journey as a father.
And it's really reflective, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite a reflective aspect to it.
I thought it was quite
and his daughter's in it as well, playing Jay's daughter.
Jay's daughter, yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Well, because he said in the special features that every time he posts a picture of himself his daughter on Instagram, everyone comments saying, "Oh, she looks a bit more like Jay News than you."
You need to talk to your wife.
So he cast her as Jay's daughter in the film. I thought it was quite good. It is quite funny. There were some really stupid bits in there, but it was a lot better than I thought it would be.
Oh, it was much better than I thought. Yeah.
So that was.
I was expecting absolute tripe.
Yeah,
but it was.
And it was actually surprising.
As you said, there's a nice little heartwarming. Feel to it. Aspect to it.
So if you haven't checked that one out yet, I would recommend it. It's quite easy one to watch. We watched. We can't say anything about this one. Well, I'd say we've watched it. Disney Plus's Safety. Which is the new Disney sports film. It's set in it's not really a sports film, but it takes place in the
there's a sports aspect to it.
Yeah, sports aspect about this guy Ray. What's his surname? Can't remember his surname now. McElrath Bay, and he is a what school is he playing for? College football player. Clemson University.
Clemson University.
And he is one of the new recruits to the team. He's one of the safeties, and he's got a pretty rough family home, and ends up bringing his younger brother to the university.
Lives with him
on campus secretly. It's a true story.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about all I'm allowed to say about it. I didn't say whether I liked it or not, did I?
No.
No. Okay, good. I'm not allowed to say anything.
I'm keeping my mouth shut.
But that's the film. So of course there's a trailer out there and all that stuff based on a true story, and it's going on Disney Plus, I believe, this Friday. So I will have a review for that film up when I'm allowed to put it up. I'll also be interviewing the star of the film.
When's the embargo drop?
On the 10th, I think. I think the 11th is next Friday, which is when the film goes up, and the embargo's on the 10th.
Okay.
And I've got interviews going up. I believe they're allowed to go up on the 7th, but I have to double check on that, which is the day this podcast will go out, with the star of the film, Jay Reeves, who plays Ray, and director Reginald Hudlin. So at the time of recording this, I haven't done them yet, but by the time this has gone up,
it's on Saturday.
They'll be ready. It's on Saturday morning. So that was a movie that I watched last week. I also watched Disney Plus's Godmothered. Actually, I watched that a couple of weeks ago. We'll talk about that very briefly because that's a new Disney Plus Christmas film that's just come out last Friday. So very well.
I didn't see it, did I?
No, you didn't watch it.
If I did, I don't have any recollection.
No, you didn't watch it. It's not your kind of thing.
Oh, I would have thought so.
Now, it's weird because it comes out, at the time of recording this, it's out tomorrow, but at the time this goes up, I have to say it's already out.
Oh, okay.
So I stumble over it's out. It was out last Friday. Yeah, that's out. If you're listening to this, it's out. It's on Disney Plus. We'll talk about that a bit more. Television wise, we've continued on with Future Man. We're on to season 2 at the moment. We loved season 1, but season 2 is
boring as batshit. Really slow. There's no point to it. It's all over the place.
No wonder it got axed.
Exactly right. We've got another 4 episodes this season, and then third season to get through.
Yeah, but the third season only 8 episodes.
Yeah, but still, it's still another 12 episodes to get through. And if that third season's anything like this second one,
first season was great. There are so many of these shows. I always find it's these science fiction shows that have a really great premise, and they have a really tightly wrapped first season. They come back for a second one, and it's never as
Supernatural. Supernatural, so it was called.
Yeah.
That was like that for me.
Well, they kept going for 13 years.
Yeah,
I only watched one episode of that.
Well, I think I watched about maybe 8 or 10 episodes of the first season, and even by the end of the first season, I'm thinking, it's all much the same.
That went on for years. It's only just finished. People love it. People love that, but I feel that.
And the other one was Dexter.
Dexter, yeah.
Dexter was the same. The first season of Dexter was pretty good. Then the second season, it was just the first season.
Yeah.
In different clothes, really.
Yeah. But you have a lot of these ones. Was that one the 4400?
That
was the first one was really good because it was designed as a mini series. It was like 4 or 5 episodes or something, or maybe like 3. It was like a telemovie event.
It was only 3 or 4. Yeah.
And then they come back and they do more seasons.
Yeah,
and it's just
it was awful.
And I found the same with Once Upon a Time. I loved the first season. Had such a great premise. It's essentially like this fairy tale land, and there's this curse that everyone forgets that they're fairy tale characters and they're just real life people, and slowly they start to realize that I'm Snow White, I'm Prince Charming, whatever. Really great premise. And then once the curse lifts at the end of the first season, it's just like, this is not, I just couldn't get into it after that.
Yeah, I couldn't have got into the first season.
It was a great show.
Thing at all.
First season. You would have liked it if you tried it. It was actually a really good show. You would have liked it. You would have liked it 100%. It's a very, very good show. And there were like 5 seasons of that. I couldn't get past season 3.
I just couldn't get over the thought of it.
Yeah, but you didn't even try it.
No,
so.
I just thought,
anyway.
It doesn't sound like my thing.
I think you would have liked it. But here's something that we're in 2 minds of at the moment. Deadwood.
That was a bit slow.
It was a bit. Deadwood update.
I thought it was still here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well.
I skipped a couple of things. We'll go back. Deadwood update. 1.
Uno.
1.
One.
But again, it is Thursday.
Yeah. So tonight would be a night we would have watched another episode.
Probably.
So we probably won't. No, we'll see.
We got one and it's getting better again.
Yeah, that's right. But there was a couple of episodes there that was just so hard to get through.
Town.
But that last episode was pretty good.
Yeah, it's getting better again, so we'll see.
So hopefully
we're nearly finished the second season now. So
we've got another 3 episodes.
3 episodes, I think. We're on the last disc at least. Yeah. So we're getting there. We're slowly getting there. Again, if you're new to the show, Deadwood is just a program we've struggled to watch for years.
Since it first came out. We bought it when it first came out and struggled to get through the first 3 or 4 episodes because other things came up and they were better. And now we're trying, for about the 3rd or 4th time, we're thinking, let's just struggle, get right through it, to get it done.
We're going to get it done. But we've got another whole season and a movie left to go. We'll see. We'll get through it. But we'll see. It might take us a little while longer.
It might not be till about April 2021, but
yeah, we'll see.
We'll get through it.
I missed a couple of things here. Mandalorian episode 5 was the last Friday. Oh, I got excited for a second because every time we record, it's a Friday and it's Mandalorian tonight. I got this bright spark of excitement for about a quarter of a second, and then I remembered it's Thursday. Mandalorian's tomorrow night.
Something to look forward to tomorrow night.
Episode 5. We're nearing the end of the season already. It's crazy.
Is it episode 5 or 6 tomorrow?
6 tomorrow.
6 tomorrow, yeah.
Or last Friday for those listening.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
So what do you think about episode 6?
5?
6.
No, it's 6, yeah. Wow. They're all the great things that happened in episode 6. I swear.
So what happened in episode 6?
So good. Well, you all know Baby Yoda got just blown to smithereens. I'm sorry if you haven't watched it yet. Spoilers. But Baby Yoda's not around anymore. No, episode 5 is the last one we've watched, which was called The Jedi.
Yeah.
And Ahsoka Tano comes in, the character you've probably never seen in your life.
Never heard of.
I've never watched the Clone Wars in full. I've maybe watched a season of it. It's just not one of those shows that I struggle to get through. Apparently, it gets really good after like halfway through season 2. I've just never been able to get there. So she's a character in that. She was Anakin Skywalker's apprentice or Padawan.
Okay, yep.
And then she kind of pops up in Rebels as well, which was kind of the offshoot series from that, which takes place a little further down the timeline. And yeah, it's her first appearance in live action, which is very cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. I know very
good character.
That is about all I know about the character because again, I've seen very little of the animated stuff, but it's a good character. I feel like I'm not getting as much out of it. As if
you'd known the character.
Yeah, if I'd seen the show, and I feel like there's so much in it at the moment. Like we had Bo-Katan, which was that character that, how they had the 3 Mandalorians come in a few episodes back.
Yep.
They were like characters from the Clone Wars too. So these are characters I'm kind of familiar with but don't know a great deal about. I feel like if I'd watched the shows, I would be so excited like everyone else.
But all those books and shit you got.
Yeah, but this was all after that. All those books I got were so, like, I reckon episode 3 hadn't even come out yet. Because I used to collect when I was younger these massive, like, Star Wars, what are they called? It was like some Star Wars encyclopedia thing, and there was like a volume every month
week or something,
every week for however many years, 2 or 3 years, volumes and volumes. I've got them all. But that was all like expanded universe stuff, which is now under Disney ownership is now non-canon anymore. So none of that stuff even counts anymore. So they've got a dozen, like hundreds, thousands of pages worth of material.
And it cost us a fortune in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, because they just kept making them.
Did you finish getting the whole
I think
lot
I
of
got
it?
them all in the end. I remember I must have been so young because I reckon it was around the time episode 2 came out because I remember they did a second volume probably 10 years later which covered a lot more stuff, which I didn't get. But I remember Mum ringing them up multiple times, being like,
right.
how many
more are there?
Yeah, and
they couldn't tell us.
There's only like 10 more, and then you'd ring back, and they'd be like, oh, we're not sure, we've extended it a bit more.
Yeah,
it just went on for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember.
I read it all, or a vast majority of it, but yeah, all the Clone Wars stuff has been just fairly recently.
And you've got about like the big...
Oh, huge. They had the big ring binders. Like 10, 15 of them just full of the things. And they had like in the corner, like the year, like
That's
it
right.
corresponded to the Star Wars timeline. And you could put them all in order of the year.
Yeah, and you did that.
There was like, I did all that. There was characters, there was events, there was like weaponry and ships and all that stuff. And you could kind of, it was amazing. Like this huge compendium of just like a massive Star Wars encyclopedia. 95% of which now was non-canon under Disney.
Bastards.
I know. But anyway, yeah, it was a good episode. I thought it was great. The action was great. Lightsabers for the first time in The Mandalorian, as far as I can remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have to be, wouldn't it?
I think it is, yeah.
It's just great. Good action sequences. Yeah, but I just feel like I'm not getting as much out of it as I would had I watched the Clone Wars and stuff. Yeah. But anyway, good show. Good show. And don't worry, Baby Yoda's safe for now, as far as I'm aware.
We don't know what happens in
We don't know
episode
what
6.
happens yet. We've also been watching Auntie Donna. We've gone back to the Facebook stuff now because we finished.
Oh my god!
We finished the
big old
House of Fun on Netflix last week. We smashed that out, and now we're onto the older YouTube stuff. It's just.
It still staggers me how they got funding.
I know.
It really staggers me.
Yeah, well, some of those episodes, just really weird, crazy, wacky shit. Oh. And at the end, it's sponsored by Screen Australia. So they've been given, like, government funding from Screen Australia to do all these just really stupid, what do you call it? It's absurdist comedy. Really weird.
It is absurd.
And you kind of wonder, how did they get government funding for this stuff? B, how did they get a Netflix show out of it?
And how do they get away with saying the words that they say on that show?
Unbelievable. But it's great. It's fantastic.
It's awesome.
It is so good.
It is awesome. Love
Funniest
it.
thing
Absolutely
I've seen in a
love
very long time. And the YouTube stuff is just as good as the Netflix thing. So if you've watched the Netflix show, Big Ol' House of Fun, check out the YouTube stuff because I think it's even wackier, the YouTube shit. Because I think, I don't know if Netflix told him to tone it down or anything. I feel like they probably didn't. But I feel
I don't think so.
But I feel like there might, like some of the YouTube stuff goes pretty pretty far.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
C-bombs and F-bombs and the whole lot.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And the I think we probably mentioned it last week. The first time we saw it was with your cousin.
Yeah,
niece,
yeah.
had,
That's right.
Introduced
Showed
us
us
to
a
pudding.
clip. Yeah. Christmas pud.
Christmas pud. My
Well,
God.
I've actually had 3 or 4 people email in or message in this week saying, "Oh, you've got me onto Auntie Donna, and we're stuck watching it now."
So if you're listening and you haven't had a look, get on and have a look.
Brilliant
And
stuff.
a good starting point is Auntie Donna Christmas pudding.
Or Bikey Wars.
Bikey Wars. That's hilarious.
Brilliant little
Bikey
song.
Wars the musical.
Yeah, it keeps coming up on my recommended. I feel like because every time I see it there, I click it and we watch it. And it just keeps coming up in my recommended every time without fail. It's right there. I'm like, all right,
those two set the tone for the whole series and every
absolutely
skit they've done.
Yeah.
But it is awesome.
Very, very good.
Let's reach out and try and
that'd be
get 'em
great.
on.
Oh, it'd be great.
That'd be good.
Yeah, they are. I think they must be Melbourne.
Yeah, they
boys,
are.
yeah.
They're from Melbourne.
Yeah, so that'll be good if we get to speak to
Not
even
too
one of
far
them.
from here, from
I
what I
don't know.
understand.
I don't know. Not sure. But yeah, because they film a lot of stuff. It seems like sort of around the area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm not-
and some of the things they mention
yeah.
sort of makes me think, oh, okay,
Yeah.
well, I reckon they're from.
Yeah. But anyway, good stuff. That's all the stuff we watched this past week. Again, we're not going to do too much news this week, but I felt like we did have to mention David Prowse passed away.
Very
who
sad.
Was very sad. There's an English actor, British actor, who was Darth Vader in the original Star Wars trilogy.
Wasn't the voice. He
Not the
was
voice.
The
He was-
actual actor in the costume.
Yeah. He was a bodybuilder beforehand, did a little
Was
bit of
he really?
acting. Yeah. You just got to see a picture of a massive guy. He was
Is he
huge.
really?
Yeah. Massive.
Yeah.
Like Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you picture Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
when he was younger, like
Yeah.
that really same sort of physique.
Super buffed.
Yeah. 6'6" at
Is
his
he
tallest.
really?
Yeah.
I knew he was tall. I didn't realise he was
Yeah.
that tall.
When he was, I think because he had been quite ill for a number of years, he lost a lot of his height.
Oh, you do
due
as
to-
you get old anyway.
But yeah, at his tallest, he was 6'6", which I think of Darth Vader, big, tall, overpowering guy.
And I suppose when you look at the Darth Vader character, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He's quite tall
Yeah.
and quite broad across the shoulders.
Yeah.
But I didn't realise it was actually him and not just a costume that he.
Yeah, no.
You know?
Well, you think they put like shoulder pads and
Yeah, exactly
platforms
right.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
no, he's a huge guy. You know, have a look at pictures.
Wow.
Yeah, insane. So yeah, he passed away at the age of 85. Again, he had health problems for many years, but apparently been battling COVID at the end.
Oh, really?
So yeah. So whether that was the thing that, unfortunately,
was it put down as a COVID death? Or?
I'm not sure. I saw an interview with his daughter that said he had COVID at the time of passing, but whether that was the official ruling of death, I'm not too sure. So yeah, that's a sad one. Of course, he portrayed Darth Vader underneath the suit, but James Earl Jones did the voice. But the presence that you see on screen, that menacing, overbearing presence, is David Prowse through and through.
Wow.
And, you know, between that performance, like incredible body performance for someone who didn't give a voice to the character, just that weight that he brought to the role is
exactly right.
incredible, and like one of the greatest screen villains.
Oh, without doubt.
If not the
Without-
best.
without
you know?
doubt.
Yeah. So his performance...
Everybody knows Darth Vader.
Oh, absolutely. Even if you don't know Star Wars, you know
But
Darth
not everybody
Vader.
knows Jaws.
Well, yeah. Exactly right.
No, we're not talking about Jaws.
Jaws
as in
from
the shark,
James
but
Bond.
James,
Yeah.
you know.
So yeah, again, you got James Earl Jones delivers that menacing voice, but that screen presence was David Prowse through and through. So yeah, unfortunately he passed away. Mark Hamill said on Twitter, of course, Luke Skywalker, "So sad to hear David Prowse has passed. He was a kind man and much more than Darth Vader. Actor, husband, father, member of the Order of the British Empire, 3-time British weightlifting champion and safety icon, the Green Cross Code Man. He loved his fans as much as they loved him." George Lucas said, "David brought a physicality to Darth Vader that was essential for the character. He made Vader leap off the page and onto the big screen with an imposing stature and movement performance to match the intensity and undercurrent of Vader's presence. David was up for anything and contributed to the success of what would become a memorable tragic figure. May he rest in peace." Yeah, so very sad. So we've lost another member of the Star Wars family. Kenny Baker, R2-D2, we lost him not that long ago. Peter Mayhew, Chewbacca, we lost not that long ago. Carrie Fisher.
Carrie Fisher, yeah.
So sadly, we've lost quite a number
There's
of
a
them
few now. When you think about it, it was, 40-odd years ago?
Yeah, 77.
So 43 years ago.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, very sad. Oh, well, that's life.
It is. And he was 85, so he had a good run.
Reasonable life,
Reasonably good run. So there you go. Other news, again, we're not going to do too much news, but this is something that popped up this morning that I just thought was really funny. I had to mention it. Last week we were talking about how Universal has 12 monster films in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's right.
On the back of one performing really well, they've gone, yes, we'll do this one. Let's do this one. Let's do this one. We'll do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Right? They've just announced a 13th one.
Oh, bugger off.
Yeah, they're doing another one. Yeah, Van Helsing they're rebooting. So this one, of course, joins...
That's had like 2 or 3 goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Van Helsing?
Well, Van Helsing was the antagonist in Dracula.
Yep.
And then, so he was in all of those films. And then, of course, Hugh Jackman did a Van Helsing.
That's right.
And then Van Helsing just pops up in all the monster movies. Any version of Dracula you see or whatever, there's always a Van Helsing around. So this is like, they're going to reboot it again. So this, of course, joins, as we mentioned last week, Channing Tatum is doing a comedy. I haven't really said what it is, like a tongue-in-cheek comedy. The Rock is rebooting The Scorpion King. Elizabeth Banks is doing an Invisible Woman film. They're doing an Invisible Man sequel, reboots of Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein, and now we've got this Van Helsing film. It's going to be produced by James Wan, of course, of the Saw and Conjuring films, and he's also doing the Frankenstein film for this new Monster Universe thing. It's directed by Overlord filmmaker Julius Avery and written by Eric Pearson, who wrote Thor Ragnarok and Black Widow. So they seem to be all hands on deck for that one. So 13 monster movies we've got to look forward to because one did very well.
Doing a jump on the gun.
Just thought I'd bring that up.
God, oh well. It's their money.
Exactly right.
They want to make this stuff for us to watch. Well, so be it.
Yeah. Oh, I accidentally hit the Halloween sound effects there.
Oh.
Can you hear that? Oh, it's a spooky Christmas. That's not what I wanted to hit. That's better.
There we go.
Here we go. It's the Christmas show. Let's talk about some Christmas stuff. Excited?
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty.
Love Christmas films.
Love it.
Not all of them, but some of them.
Yeah.
Some great films.
Where do we start? Let's start with some new stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of new Christmas movies coming out this week. That's enough of the music. Cut it out.
Yep.
First one up, we got a couple coming out theatrically this year. Of course, theatres are open in Australia, even here in Melbourne.
Yeah, they are.
Which is beautiful.
Can't get too many people in there, but they're open at least.
Yeah. And I think there's some open in the US at the moment, but just in the places where it's a little safer to be able to go. Theatres are closed in the UK. But anyway, we've got a couple of movies out theatrically. First one, interesting, it's called The War with Grandpa. This one,
it looks dreadful, but I want to see it.
It looks terrible. It's got Robert De Niro, Christopher Walken, Uma Thurman, Rob Riggle.
Oh, God.
If that's any indication.
Yeah.
And Jane Seymour. Rob Riggle's all right.
I love Rob Riggle.
Yeah.
But his films are going to be
trash.
But they're lovable.
But lovable. This has been produced, or one of like 30-odd producers on the film, by a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible. Yeah. But it started... From what I've read and seen, it started as a school project. He was 8 years old, I think, 7 or 8 years old, and it was a school project. And his parents just happened to be in the movie industry, producers and stuff like that. And it took him 7 years to sort of convince them to sort of get it made. And they taught him how to pitch for a film and chase funding and all those sorts of things.
I think it's based on a book. And he wanted to he wanted to watch the movie instead of read the book.
His mother forced him to watch the movie.
What forced him to read the book? But because there was no movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And because there was no movie, he wanted to make the movie.
Yeah, that's right. His mother forced him to read the book.
Yeah, because there's no movie.
Yeah.
So now they've made the movie. This is interesting. Actually, I was reading into it. This is one that was supposed to come out in 2017, but it was one that the Weinsteins were going to distribute.
Really?
Yeah, and because of everything that happened with the Weinsteins, it kind of just went into a limbo, and it eventually got out of the hands of the Weinstein Company, and now they're finally releasing it in 2020.
Wow.
So yeah, just one of those things that just got caught up in like production hell or release hell. But this is the synopsis of the film. Peter is thrilled that Grandpa is coming to live with his family. That is until Grandpa moves into Peter's room, forcing him upstairs into the creepy attic. And though he loves his Grandpa, he wants his room back, so he has no choice but to declare war. It's a family film, obviously. It looks pretty ordinary. And Bob De Niro doesn't do a lot of great stuff anymore.
No.
He's one of those ones that's just doing movies now.
Superannuation.
I mean, good on him.
Exactly right.
Great, all the hundreds of films he's done over the years. Brilliant films, brilliant performances. I think he's earned it.
Yeah.
Just do a couple of just ones to just
to please himself and have a bit of fun, maybe.
Yeah, top the bank.
He's probably not getting paid a fortune to do them, but
no. Oh, but he's good at these stupid little old man comedy roles.
Yeah,
They're always fun.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be fun.
That's worth a watch.
Fun to check out.
I'll check it out.
That's in theaters.
Being an old man myself.
Yeah. I believe all of the ones that we're going to talk about are available now. They're out now, so you can watch them.
They're either out now or they're out tomorrow.
Yeah.
A lot of them
so
December
by the time
4th.
by the time this podcast goes out, they're out.
That time was doing my head. Yeah.
So they're all.
That's right.
You can watch them. So that one's gone theatrical. Happier Season is another one that's out theatrically in Australia, but if you're in America, you can watch that on Hulu. It's on the Hulu streaming service. It's a Hulu original. It's got Kristen Stewart, Mackenzie Davis, Alison Brie, Aubrey Plaza, Dan Levy, Mary Steenburgen, and Victor Garber. Stacked cast. I've heard from a lot of people this is a very, very good film.
Oh,
apparently a very, very good movie. We had tickets to this last week. And
is that the one?
Yeah, it's really sad because I really want to see this. But I had to get my video done, my Charlie Brown Evolution. I already pushed it back once and want to push it back again.
Yeah, exactly.
So, unfortunately, we missed that screening. Meeting your girlfriend's family for the first time can be tough. Planning to propose at her family's annual Christmas dinner until you realise that they don't even know she's gay is even harder. When Abby, Kristen Stewart, learns that Harper, Mackenzie Davis, has kept the relationship a secret from her family, she begins to question the girlfriend she thought she knew. It's a holiday romantic comedy that captures the range of emotions tied to wanting your family's acceptance, being true to yourself, and trying not to ruin Christmas. It's all those.
Sounds right.
It's all those great like Christmas elements. Movies about family and acceptance and love and belonging, and it just sounds like a really sweet film.
Yeah, it sounds good.
So I'm
Does sound good.
I'm really looking for. I've heard from a few people who've seen it and they just loved it. They adored it.
Yeah,
it's getting rave reviews, and yeah, I just can't wait to see it. It just looks like one of those just really light, beautiful, fun, heartwarming Christmas films, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no. I think that'll be okay. That
and I've got the cast is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Dan Levy of Schitt's Creek, yeah. Terrific. Alison Brie, Aubrey Plaza. I went over this. Kristen
Aubrey
Stewart.
Plaza, love Aubrey Plaza.
She was just on Ellen before.
Yeah,
and she's just so.
She's such a nutcase. I'd love to be sit in the room with her.
Oh yeah, she's so.
She's
funny.
just so out there.
Yeah, I love it. So yeah, that looks good. Again, Hulu in the US, if you're over there, or it's theatrical in Australia, so you can go see it in the cinema. Wow, you can see it in the cinema. It's pretty good. Here's a few that's coming out on Netflix. The Christmas Chronicles 2. This has got Kurt Russell as Santa Claus and Goldie Hawn as Mrs. Claus.
I don't remember the first one.
We didn't watch it.
Didn't we?
I was overseas.
Oh, that's right.
Unless you watched it while I was not here.
I wouldn't remember anyway.
I feel like it's one Alicia didn't really want to watch, so it just got skipped.
Fair enough.
But the first one was the story of a sister and a brother, Kate and Teddy Pierce, whose Christmas Eve plan to catch Santa Claus on camera turns into an unexpected journey that most kids could only dream about. Okay, now the second one, Kate is now a cynical teen and is unexpectedly reunited with Santa Claus when a mysterious troublemaker threatens to cancel Christmas forever. Ooh. Now, I've heard the first one's not great, but the second one's actually a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
So
Maybe
that's
we're going to have to watch them.
a couple I want to check out. I like Kurt Russell. He's a lot of fun. Goldie Hawn's always great.
yeah. Always loved Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt and Goldie.
Yeah, so that'll be lots of fun to watch, I think. I've got another one on Netflix called Holiday. I'm a bit two minds of this. I've seen the trailer. The trailer doesn't look great, but people have been saying it's actually okay. It's got Emma Roberts, who is the niece of
I got no idea.
Julia Roberts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's the niece of Julia Roberts. I believe she's I could be wrong, but I think she's the daughter of Eric Roberts, who is Julia Roberts' brother. You'd recognise him. You might not know the name, but you'd recognise him. So it's got Emma Roberts in there, who's great. She's a really great actor. It's got Luke Bracey and Kristen Chenoweth as well. Fed up with being single on holidays, two strangers agree to be each other's platonic plus ones all year long, only to catch real feelings along the way.
Of course they do. Isn't that sweet,
that's nice. I saw in the news that
your mother will love that.
Oh yeah, probably. I saw on the.
You'll love it too. You'll love
I probably
a rom-com.
will. Yeah, I do love a
I don't
rom-com.
mind. I don't mind. A
I do
rom-com
love a rom-com
when they're a good one. But
I like Emma Roberts, so I think it'll be
do I.
enjoyable.
And Luke Bracey's Australian.
I think so.
Is he Australian? I'm pretty sure he is.
Let's look it up. You want to look it up? Have a look. I feel like he might be, but we could be wrong. But yeah, it looks okay. The trailer didn't do much justice to the film, but I've heard it's actually not bad. I saw on the morning show this morning, because it was just on in the background while I was preparing this. They were saying that this has spawned like a whole new trend, which is people like kind of hooking up online and agreeing to be each other's holly date, which is just like a date for the Christmas season, no strings attached. And at the end of the Christmas season, you go your separate ways. So apparently it's spawned like this whole new trend already.
Oh,
and they're talking
really?
about, is it a good idea? Is it not a good idea? So pretty crazy. So it's had its mark already. A holly date, that's been on for like a month already, I think.
Yeah. He's Australian. He's born in Sydney.
Thought he was, yeah.
Started on Home and Away. Where they all start.
Of course.
Home and Away or Neighbours.
Yeah. Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey is going on Netflix
Oh, that's
as well.
Forrest Whitaker one, isn't it?
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker, Keegan-Michael Key and Hugh Bonneville, produced by John Legend.
Keegan-Michael Key, what do I know him from?
You've seen him in a lot of stuff recently. He was from Key and Peele, the comedy duo.
Oh, yeah.
He did one of the voices in Toy Story. He was either the duck or the bunny. I can't remember which one he was. Comedic actor. You'll know him.
Yeah. I know him.
So
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah. This is an imaginary world comes to life in a holiday tale of eccentric toy maker, his adventurous granddaughter, and a magical invention that has the power to change their lives forever. There's that word again, forever. I feel like they're all ending with
forever.
Threatens to cancel Christmas forever. Trying not to ruin Christmas forever. So this one is about how this magical invention has the power to change their lives forever.
I'm actually looking forward to seeing that one.
Yeah.
That sounds all right.
A bit magical, a bit fantastic. Doesn't really seem like your kind of thing. It surprises me.
What I read, it's a bit of a musical as well, I think.
Oh, which you don't like as
which
well.
I don't like.
So this is everything
but
you
I
don't like.
I like Forrest Whitaker and Michael Keegan.
Yeah.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah.
So
it looks okay.
I'll check that out. Have a
Looks
look
pretty
at that
good.
one.
We've got another one on Netflix that I feel like neither of us are going to watch.
That's a Netflix. Jingle Jangle. That's Netflix too. Isn't it?
Yeah, Jingle Jangle. Yes, heaps going on Netflix. This one's called The Princess Switch 2. Switched again.
Oh, no.
This is Vanessa Hudgens. It's like a reimagining of The Princess and the Pauper, or The Prince and the Pauper, or whatever it is. The first film, competing in a Christmas baking competition in Belgravia, a Chicago baker bumps into the prince's fiancé, who looks just like her. They switch lives for 2 days.
Oh,
that was the first one.
Like crap.
That's the first one, right? So the new one, where Duchess Margaret unexpectedly inherits the throne to Montanaro and hits a rough patch with Kevin. Oh, old Kevin, up to no good.
Kevin. That's a real Aussie name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kevin.
It's up to her double Stacy. Oh, up to her double Stacy. It's not written very well. There should be an apostrophe there. I just copied this from IMDb. It's up to her double Stacy to save the day before a new lookalike party girl, Fiona, foils their plans. It's not an Australian film, but can't you imagine Stacey, Kevin, and Fiona, like characters from Neighbours in the 1980s?
Exactly right. Yeah, that sounds like garbage.
That sounds awful.
Yeah,
it's just a family film. I think it's one for the kids. But if you're interested in that, that's on there.
I got no interest in that.
No, not at all.
Move on.
I'll never watch that. This is one that we probably won't watch, but it's Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square.
I love Dolly.
I love Dolly Parton. It's a comedy drama. An embittered Scrooge of a woman plans to sell her small town regardless of the consequences to the people who live there. It's got like a 5 on IMDb.
That sounds like
yeah, it doesn't sound very good, does it? So yeah, we'll probably skip that one too.
Yeah, I would think so.
Godmothered is the new one on Disney Plus. It's got Isla Fisher,
Love Isla Fisher,
another Australian.
Yeah,
and Gillian Bell, who is
Bell.
great. You'd know her as well if you saw a comedic actor.
Back to IMDb and have another.
Yeah, it's a comedy about Eleanor, a young, inexperienced fairy godmother in training. This is Gillian Bell, who, upon hearing that her chosen profession is facing extinction, decides to show the world that people still need fairy godmothers. Finding a mislaid letter from a 10-year-old girl in distress, Eleanor tracks her down and discovers that the girl, Mackenzie, Isla Fisher, is now a 40-year-old single mum, working at a news station in Boston. Having lost her husband several years later, Mackenzie has all but given up on the idea of happily ever after, but Eleanor is bound and determined to give Mackenzie a happiness makeover whether she likes it or not. I thought it was okay.
I've just looked up Gillian Bell.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love her stuff.
Yeah.
It's really offbeat, offbeat comedy.
Yeah. Quirky stuff.
Yeah.
And Isla Fisher's always good. Isla Fisher's
always
playing more of a dramatic role. Well, not a really dramatic role, but like the straight role. I thought I was really surprised at how I wouldn't say it's great, but how enjoyable it was. And it's almost like Alf, sort of like this fish out of water story where this magical being travels to like the normal world, the human Earth, and has to do something and then get back in time. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's one that I think a lot of kids are going to love.
Sounds right.
I feel like it's probably one that's will probably go on and be a classic for a lot of people. So like for what Elf was for my generation. It's funny, I always think of Elf as being like a really new Christmas movie, but I was in primary school when that came out.
Is it that old?
Yeah.
Wow.
I saw it on like an activities day at primary school. Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought it was that old.
Yeah, it's that old. Probably
Wow.
2003, I would guess.
Say nearly 20 years old. My God.
Yeah.
Would never have thought it was that old.
So that's sort of like, I feel like this Godmothered is almost like an Elf for the modern day. Kind of that same sort of spin. It's very similar to Disney's Enchanted, which you wouldn't have seen. It's got Amy Adams, and again, it's the same sort of thing, like a magic fairy tale princess character travels to the real world, the human world sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a mix between those two. It has a lot of callbacks to classic Disney fairy tale films and stuff. It is a very Disney movie. It feels like the kind of movie that would have gone to cinemas and absolutely tanked and just flopped because people don't go see these movies at cinemas anymore. So I feel like Disney Plus is a really great place for these movies to go, and it's going to get a lot of eyes, and millions of people will get to see it and enjoy it. Whereas if we went to cinemas, no one would have gone to see it. So it would just get buried. But I thought that was enjoyable enough to watch. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, I've got a review up on the channel right now.
Awesome.
Talking about Disney Plus, they sent me this last week.
Advent calendar.
Advent calendar. Yeah, they sent me this last Friday, just before we started recording the podcast.
That's right.
And it's this little advent calendar. Very nice surprise from my friends over at Disney Plus. Wasn't expecting it. And essentially, it's just a little advent calendar. We open it up, you get a little chocolate, and the chocolate's got like a little lolly stuck in it. So it's a surprise what the lolly is every day. Or candy for my American friends. What do they call them in Britain? Sweets. Yeah.
Sweets,
we call them lollies
Sweets,
here.
Well, yeah, lollies.
Yeah. So I'm going to open one up. If you've been...
Well, you got your phone?
Yeah, I'll film it.
I'll film you doing it.
I'll do it.
For Instagram.
Yeah,
you do it yourself.
I'll do it. Because I've been doing... If you've been watching my Instagram, I've been recording myself opening these every single day. And the good thing is you open it up and you get your candy, your sweet, your lolly, right? And it gives you a little recommendation of what to watch on Disney Plus. So I've been recording this and putting it on my my Instagram So I'm going to record for Instagram while I'm doing the podcast. I'm killing two birds with one stone right here. So recording.
Efficiency.
Okay. All right, guys, here we go. It's time to open up today's Disney Plus Advent Calendar. We're going for December 3 because that's today. Thanks to old mate Rick for helping out. We're recording the podcast at the same time. We're killing two birds with one stone, as I just said in the podcast. We're going to open this up right here and figure out, oh, my Lord, these are tough to get into. Oh, here we go. You ready? Oh.
It's going to be candy corn.
There we go. Oh, please don't be candy corn.
Candy corn.
Here we go.
Candy corn.
Oh, it's an M&M. I had an M&M yesterday. Oh, how do I get it out? There we go. Oh, okay. And today's movie is Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Ugh. We're actually about to talk about that in a minute.
Are we?
Here on the podcast. So there you go. There's my little chocolate with a little chocolate in it. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And please watch the podcast. This is strictly for people on Instagram watching. Please watch the podcast. And here we go. That was a bit weird.
How strange.
That was a bit weird. So, yeah, there we go. So then it gives you that little suggestion of what to watch right there. And today was Nutcracker and the Four Realms. Oh, that can go there. That's a bit of fun.
You know, eat that on.
Yeah. I'm already into it. Can't help it. Would you like some?
No. After it's been your goal.
Would you like, have you got the thing up?
The what?
No, the script. Or the run sheet, yeah. You want to take over while I eat my chocolate?
Oh, really?
No.
So we're going to talk about what last year's...
Yeah, we're going to talk about just a few...
Last year's and 2018's Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Noel, Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
You enjoyed that, didn't you?
Wow, good.
Excuse me. Anna Kendrick and Bill Hader.
Yep.
Shirley MacLaine, Billy Eichner.
Yep.
Santa's daughter must take over the family business when her father retires and her brother, who is supposed to inherit the Santa role, gets cold feet.
Yeah. We watched it.
Did we?
Yeah, it was really good. We watched it when we first... We didn't watch it at Christmas.
Yes. I do remember.
We watched it when we first got... I'm just going to wash my chocolate down. We watched it when we first got Disney Plus. So when I got back from overseas... probably around January time, we watched it this year. It was really good. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think I do remember.
I would really. That is probably.
So I remember thinking Shirley MacLaine thinking.
Yeah, no,
she's still going around.
Yeah, no, she's still doing a lot of. She's doing a lot of stuff recently.
Is she?
Yeah. But Anna Kendrick is the main one. She becomes sort of Santa. It's a lot of fun.
I love Bill Hader too.
Yeah. So yeah, if you haven't seen that one yet on Disney Plus, I know a lot of countries have only just got Disney Plus recently. So yeah, check that one out for sure. One that went to Netflix last year is called Klaus. You haven't watched this. We're going to have to watch it this year because it's so good.
Really?
Yeah, it's an animated film. It's done with that like hybrid CG traditional animation.
Oh, okay.
So good. It's a gorgeous film. It's got Jason Schwartzman, J.K. Simmons, Rashida Jones. Simple act of kindness always sparks another, even in a frozen faraway place. When Smearenberg's new postman Jesper befriends toymaker Klaus, their gifts melt an age-old feud and deliver a sleigh full of holiday traditions. Really good movie. A lot of people loved it.
I love Schwartzman and Simmons and Rashida Jones.
Yeah.
So, I'll have to have a look
It's
at that.
so good. It's so good. I reckon that should have won Best Picture at the Oscars last year, or
Really? That good?
It did get nominated.
Did it really?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. It was a very, very good movie. I just thought we'd mention some of last year's ones because I know some people, even us, we still haven't seen some of last year's Christmas movies.
No, exactly
we
right.
wait until they come out on DVD or Blu-ray and then we don't see them until the next year.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people, take a while to catch back up on those films. So
we tend not to watch Christmas films during the year.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we won't. We leave them to the end of the year.
Until the end of the year.
We just thought we'd mention a few in case people have, fallen a bit behind. Last Christmas, this is one we haven't watched yet. We've got it sitting out there. It's been on the shelf.
That's right,
can't wait to watch this. I just want to watch it. We finally can. It's got Amelia Clarke, Henry Golding, Michelle Yeoh, and Emma Thompson. And it is Kate, as a young woman subscribed to bad decisions. Working as an elf in a year-round Christmas store is not good for the wannabe singer. However, she meets Tom there. Her life takes a new turn. For Kate, it seems too good to be true. This is set to the music of Wham.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, George Michael and Wham is the soundtrack. Yeah. It's one of those ones that got really mixed reviews. It's a British rom-com thing, rom-com Christmas movie.
Of course it is.
Conjures images of Love Actually, which is one of our favourite Christmas movies. This got trashed by critics, but I remember when this came out in cinemas, all the newspapers were bringing up the fact that Love Actually got trashed when that first came out, that is like one of the classics of the last 20 years. Right. So people are saying, well, maybe this will go on to become that. Again, we haven't seen it, so I can't say. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Amelia Clark's great. Henry Golding's, the whole cast is very, very good. Last year, The Grinch came out, or was this last year or 2018 came out. Benedict Cumberbatch version of The Grinch is the CG animated one.
That's right. Yeah.
It was okay. We watched it. I don't really remember it, so that tells me it probably wasn't that great.
I just think there's been too many Grinch films over the years. You get sick of watching them.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same film.
Yeah,
sheep in different clothes. Yeah. Really.
So yeah, there's that one, and then Nutcracker on the Four Realms, which was today's advent calendar pick from Disney Plus. Not a great movie. Mackenzie Foy, Keira Knightley, Morgan Freeman, Helen Mirren. Again, this is the kind of movie that would just be dumped on Disney Plus today, alongside Godmothered. But Godmothered is by far the superior film. This movie, oh man, really, really bad. I didn't like it one bit. Nutcracker in the Four Realms. Young girl is transported into a magical world of gingerbread soldiers and an army of mice. Visually gorgeous film, stunning. Just a beautiful movie, just awful though. Really bad.
Could imagine. Keira
Knightley, I really like Keira Knightley. She does some great stuff. She's in some of my favourite movies ever. Pirates, Love Actually, Bend It Like Beckham, so many more. She's brilliant. She is insufferable in this movie. Really just over the top and really, it's like, oh man, what are you doing? So anyway, Nutcracker in the Four Realms is on Disney Plus right now. As said by my advent calendar, you can watch that if you like. It just wasn't for me. I think the kids love that one. Now, you had a list of Christmas movies that have just gone on Netflix, I believe.
Well, they've
or are on Netflix.
Yeah, they're either already up. Some of them went up in mid-November.
Yeah.
Early mid-November, and some are going up on the 4th.
Yeah.
So they'll be out by the time this goes out.
So we'll just quickly run through the list.
Some of you already mentioned, like Holly Date. There's one called Dan's Dream Hot Chocolate Nutcracker. Don't know what the hell that's about. No idea whatsoever. Operation Christmas Drop. Now that sounds okay. That one. Yeah. That's it's about congressional aide Erica foregoes family Christmas to travel at her boss's behest. At a beachside Air Force base, she clashes with Captain Andrew Jantz, who knows her assignment is finding reasons to defund the facility. And it's got pretty good reviews.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of interested to see that one.
Yeah.
The Christmas Chronicles, we mentioned. Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, we mentioned that one.
Yeah. Christmas Waltz. God knows what that is. I have no idea what that is. And Angela's Christmas Wish is an animated one.
Oh, right.
It's an animated film.
Okay.
That doesn't look too bad. A Sugar and Spice Holiday. I don't even know where I got that from. Sounds like tripe, just by the name.
Yeah. Don't judge a book by its cover.
No, exactly right. Dear Christmas, Merry Little Christmas Wedding, which sounds like, look at the synopsis of that, sounds like trash.
Yeah.
Christmas on the Square. Now that's, is that the Mariah Carey one?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I think it's... Is that the Mariah Carey one?
Christmas on the Square. Or is that the Dolly Parton one I said before?
It might be Dolly Parton.
I think that's the one.
Oh, that's the Dolly Parton. That's the Dolly Parton one. Yeah. Mariah Carey's Magical Christmas Special. Now that was that one I think has been released in conjunction with her Christmas album.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I think
they all do that.
And it's they're saying it's quite an innovative special because it's live action with cartoon animation and stuff like that as well.
Interesting.
That sounds interesting. I don't know whether I'll watch it.
Is that Apple TV?
That's
did you say?
Apple, yeah.
Apple TV Plus,
from December 4.
Yeah.
And one called Just Another Christmas, which is I think it's a foreign film.
Mm-hmm.
It's a remake of a foreign film, I think.
Oh, right.
But that looks really good. That one.
Oh, right.
Just pull it up and have a look at the synopsis.
Just Another Christmas, Netflix. Brazilian movie?
Yeah, that's it.
Is it a Brazilian film or is it a remake of?
I think it's a remake of.
I don't know what this has gone to some random page. Just Another Christmas.
I had notes on that here somewhere.
Yeah, Brazilian. It's a Brazilian film.
Oh, is it?
Stuck in a time loop where it's forever Christmas. A family man who hates the holiday starts to learn valuable lessons about what's important in life. Oh, this is the one that you said was a remake of or a version of It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, it's a Brazilian film.
Sort of a, what do you call it? Groundhog Day type thing.
Yeah. Or The Family Man. Or
They live the same day over again and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So that looks pretty good.
All right.
Wouldn't mind checking that out.
That's a new one. I'm looking on IMDb. Hasn't got a rating yet.
No, it's not up yet. I think
it goes up today.
Today.
Or last Thursday for those listening.
Yeah, the 3rd of December.
Yeah. So that's up.
So that looks okay. I don't mind looking at
it. Looks quite good. That's a Netflix film. Yeah.
Looks like a bit of fun.
Yeah, cool.
I don't think I've ever watched a Brazilian film.
I couldn't say I have either.
Look like they'd have a bit of fun making.
Yeah, that looks quite good.
So yeah, fun. I wouldn't mind checking that one out.
So there you go. There's just a number of newer films.
Shitload, and there's
so many.
And those channels in, I think we
like
used
Hallmark
to,
and
we used to have
stuff.
Hallmark Channel here on Foxtel, but we don't anymore. Thank goodness. And there's dozens of films going up on those, and they just all look like absolute trash. I don't know why. Probably any people like my mother sitting and watching those. They'll always love that, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
Way.
They're like real low budget, sort of just TV films. Yeah. Family, they're for
families.
And
production values are probably really crap too.
That's what the Hallmark Channel is for. It's for just families and...
Is it Christian Channel or something?
I think it is. I think it has Christian affiliation, or I'm not sure whether... I'm not too sure. I think it's sort of a Christian channel or something. But yeah, Hallmark, it's like, I don't know if there's like one every day or one, like a couple every, I don't know, but there's been a lot. There's a lot of them. You said you put up a list of like almost 200 or something, Hallmark films, Christmas films?
No, I pulled up a list that had 99 films on it. And the vast majority of them were Hallmark, and there was another channel, I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
The most of the one that just look like trash.
Yeah. So yeah, we won't go through all of those to you guys. No.
Won't do it to you.
Let's talk about some of our favourite, as we're bordering on an hour here, let's talk about some of our favourite Christmas movies.
Bordering, we've passed an hour.
We've passed an hour. Some of our favourite Christmas movies of the past. Now, what we used to do, or what I used to do, for years and years.
Did it for years.
Doing it for years. It started as our 12 Days of Christmas movie marathon, where we'd watch a Christmas movie every day in the 12 days leading up to Christmas. It just ballooned out because there were just so many movies coming out and so many we wanted to see, and it ended up being a 25-day Christmas movie marathon where most days we would probably be watching 2 films. Yeah, between 1 to 2, some days 3 Christmas films. So I used to do like a schedule, and we'd have like a proper schedule where I'd write what movies are going to be on what day, and family and friends could come over and join us in the cinema and watch. We'd send a list out to family and friends, and they'd pick, you want to come see that or see that. So I had people over and come and watch movies and stuff.
Because we've got limited seats. Yeah. Well, we book it out some nights, and other people say, can I come and watch you? Yeah, you'll have to sit on the floor. Seats are already taken.
Yeah. So that's always a lot of fun. But this year we're not going to do the full 25 days. It gets to the point where you've been watching these movies for probably 10 years, and it gets to a point where you're like, we're just watching this for the sake of just going through the motions of it again. Yeah. So this year what we're doing is probably just, I don't know, throughout the month.
Yeah, just pull some here and there, and then the last 10 or so days we'll probably watch one every day or something, because there's definitely some that we have to watch every year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. So what I've done is I've kind of pulled up an old schedule. The last one we did, which was 2017, I was overseas in 2018, and then in 2019...
We didn't do it last year.
Didn't do it either. So this year...
Because you weren't home until mid-December anyway.
Yeah, so we didn't do it. We watched a few of like our favourite ones and stuff. So what we will do is we'll run through like the 2017 Christmas schedule, movie marathon schedule that I did, and just kind of give you a good idea of of how you can make your own movie marathon. Now, you don't have to have a home cinema. You can just be you and your family can just be you by yourself. That's exactly the beauty of these movies. You can they're just great films you can enjoy by yourself or with people or whatever. And you can just have your own Christmas movie marathon and just cheers.
Christmas films are really about just pure self-indulgence.
Yeah.
You can just indulge yourself in some of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. And this year, I mean, we need it more than ever this year.
Oh, there's
a bit of Christmas cheer.
No doubt about that.
Yeah. So 2020, it's been a disaster the whole year. So it's time for some smiles, some cheer, some happiness. So get into the Christmas movie. So we'll give you a good idea of how to kind of make your own Christmas schedule. So essentially what I used to do is I would have at least one movie every day leading up to Christmas from December 1st.
Yep. And
you work your way up to Christmas. You'd kick off with a movie that you really love, but not one that is like an enormous classic, not like your absolute favourite, just one you... So for us, we would usually kick it off with Bad Santa.
Yeah, that's right.
Great film.
Yeah.
Great, like classic film, but it's not like the all-time
It's not
greatest.
a great film, but it's good fun.
So you kick it off with just a lot of fun. And then after that, you go through some smaller ones, which gradually get better the closer you get to Christmas. So is that first couple of weeks, or the first couple of weeks of December are the ones where you're like, all right, here we go again.
Yeah.
Let's watch this one again, But you might sprinkle it with a couple of like good ones here and there, right?
Particularly on Friday nights and Sunday nights.
Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sunday nights. They're the nights that people are going to come over and watch stuff. So you kind of spread some good movies out throughout the weekend. Other people might want to come and enjoy with you. So obviously the week leading up to Christmas, you would schedule your absolute favourite ones leading up. And the movies just get better and better and better. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, you have your absolute favourite ones.
Yep.
You're going to watch your absolute favourite Christmas movies and just, it's just going to make the day so much better.
There's one that we watch every Christmas.
Yes.
Every Christmas Day we watch it.
And we'll go through that when we go through the schedule here. Friday night, as we said, would usually be like a friends night. So you'd put something like Elf or Home Alone or something like that on, something that my mates would want to come over and watch for the billionth time. One year we watched Home Alone and Home Alone 2 back to back. We're like, yes, let's do it. Had Tim over, Wacko Jacko was over, Lockie was over, the whole gang. Or like so many of us, 6 or 7 of us. We put them both on. We're like, yes, Home Alone 1 and 2. By the time we get to the end of 2, we're like, what the hell would we do that for? It's like the same movie. It's the exact same movie.
Different city.
Great films, and you could watch them both in any given Christmas season, but back to back I would not recommend, because you literally watch the same movie back to back, and we're like, what the hell is this? And I remember Tim was like, I'm never doing that again in my life. I said, no, good idea. Actually, I don't know if Wacko Jacko was there, because he had a habit of just pulling out, just not coming. Oh, yeah, I'm coming, and then just not turn up.
And another mate that used to go to grandma's.
Yeah. Wacko Jacko one year, actually. I hadn't scheduled Nightmare Before Christmas because it's not a movie that I love. It's one I like, but it's not one I want to watch every single year. And he said, why haven't you got Nightmare Before Christmas on? Schedule it. I want to come and watch it. I was like, all right. So I scheduled it, and then he didn't turn up. And Tim come over, and then we were ready, and then Wacko Jacko didn't turn up. Idiot. So I haven't let him forget that. The Friday night's usually like the friends night, and then like a weekend is something that the family might come over and enjoy, some like extended family or whatever. Love Actually, or The Holiday, or just a nice cozy movie for a weekend evening. And if you have some extra time, what I used to do when I had free time on the weekends, a Sunday afternoon, you'd put like
back in the day.
You would schedule. I would schedule like some classic movies. What I used to do actually years ago. Oh, hit my microphone. What I would do is a classic movie Sunday.
That's right.
So I would sit all Sunday and just watch like 2 or 3 classic movies. So then that bled into the Christmas movie marathon, and I just watched like classic Christmas films on a Sunday afternoon. Stuff like Miracle on 34th Street, Shop Around the Corner, It Happened on 5th Avenue. Highly, highly underrated classic. Bishop's Wife, with Cary Grant. A lot of great classics. And some nights we would even precede the movie with a Christmas short. And it would usually be something like, like the classic Disney ones with Donald Duck and Chip and Dale, the Pluto ones and Mickey Mouse and Charlie Brown Christmas.
Brown ones, yeah.
Yeah, your favourites. Yeah.
Love them.
Stuff like that. So you put on like a short little clip, and it's easier this year now. We used to have I do have the DVDs of the Disney Christmas shorts. So you put that DVD in, you watch a short, pull it out, put the movie in. Or some years I would have like two players going and you just switch between. Yep. But now you've got Disney Plus, so a lot of these shorts are on Disney Plus. You can just switch between them.
Awesome.
So much easier.
Yeah.
So it's a good one. I highly recommend that. It's like the classic way of watching movies. You watch a short, then you watch a film.
Of course, back when I was a kid and generation before me, we'd go to the movies. There'd always be a short on before the main feature.
You get that with the Pixar movies now, don't you? You go and you see a
sort
Pixar
of,
film,
yeah.
you get the short, and then you get the...
Yeah.
But it's like that old really traditional way of viewing a film.
Yeah. And often you'd have like a 20-minute short, then you'd have an intermission, and then you'd have the main feature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's do it. Let's have a look through a marathon, a old marathon schedule. It's going to be a little bit out because, again, this was a 2017 one. But we kicked that year off on the 1st of December, which was a Friday that year, with Bad Santa. And then we watched the night before, after.
You forgot to mention you had a short on.
Oh, we had the short on, which was Pluto's Christmas Tree, Disney short, good one.
Yep.
And then we watched Bad Santa, great film. Well, good film. Funny, hilarious movie. Naughty Christmas movie, not for the children.
Mind you, on this schedule, I've got to tell you, on this schedule, Dave has also written start times. So you got at 9 p.m. Disney Christmas short, Pluto's Christmas Tree. And Bad Santa end at 10:40.
Yeah, I would always make sure that there wasn't like two really long movies next to each other. It would always be like you'd finish watching before like 11 p.m.
Yep.
So it was like meticulously crafted, this schedule.
So if you're watching,
I'll put up a little. I don't know if they can see that, but yeah, I'll put up a little graphic on the screen, I suppose, and show them. Actually, I did a video years ago where I like showed you how to make a Christmas marathon. And that might have been this year, 2017, more than likely. So we did Bad Santa, then we did the night before, which was that one with Seth Rogen and I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Anthony Mackie were in that, I think. I think we only ever watched that once. That was probably a first-time view that year, I imagine. I think the first-time views, like movies that we were watching for the first time, would go on a Friday night.
Yeah,
most of the time, or on like
a
weekend.
Saturday.
Yeah. So the second day, we had a Disney Christmas short, Corn Chips, which is Chip and Dale, of course. Bad Santa 2, which I believe was the first view, and which was, I don't even remember it.
I remember it.
Pretty average.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the first one.
No.
Still enjoyed it, though.
Yeah. And then we followed that with Miracle on 34th Street, the 1947 version.
One of my favourite
Great.
films. Love that film.
Some years we're like, what version do we watch? The 47 version or the 90s version?
So we finished up watching both.
Yeah. So I think I must have scheduled that like a late evening one just to be like one that we could fall asleep to on the couch if we wanted to.
Yep.
Then we had like Sunday the 3rd was a classic movie Sunday afternoon matinee, as I've written there on the thing. The Bishop's Wife, Cary Grant again, great movie. And then we had that evening, we had two movies, Four Holidays.
That had a different name too,
Four
didn't it?
Christmases
Four
Overseas.
Christmases, that's right.
That's the one with Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. Yeah.
They called it Four Christmases Overseas because overseas, or in America, they're more likely to see a Christmas movie after Christmas. But here in Australia and the UK, apparently we don't go and see movies that have Christmas in the title after Christmas. So they called it Four Holidays.
Oh, okay.
So people are more likely to go see a holiday movie after Christmas than a Christmas movie. Right?
God.
So they called it Four Holidays here in Australia.
And I enjoyed that film.
Great movie. We've watched that so many times.
Yeah.
That's one we'll probably have to watch again.
Oh, exactly right. Love Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. And then we followed that with Surviving Christmas, which is that one with Ben Affleck, where he moves into his old family house and pays off this family to be
James
his family.
Gandolfini.
Yeah. It's, I think we watched it one too many times.
It's pretty ordinary.
Yeah.
It's pretty ordinary.
Yeah. It's a fun one.
But if you haven't watched it, it's worth
watching. Worth watching. And it's just silly comedy.
Once.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Just watch it once.
We
You
watched
don't
it
need to
one
watch it
too
after
many
that.
times, I think.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah. No, I've watched it so many times.
No, we have.
The 8th, which was a Friday, we had Donald Snow Fight as the short.
Didn't we have films on during the week that year?
We must have. Yeah, because...
Because you're on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the following Friday.
That's so weird. I don't know what happened there. Maybe... Must have been busy. We must have had stuff on that night.
Maybe, who knows?
Don't know. Very strange. And it says the 12-ish days of Christmas movies. Maybe we did a truncated one this year, but we just squeezed in a ton of movies. I think we squeezed in everything. I looked over it. There was nothing missing. So I think we just really squeezed everything into this.
Yeah, you had 16 days scheduled.
Yeah. So earlier years we would have scheduled just like one a night. Some of these nights we're squeezing in 2 films at once.
Yeah, that's right.
So then the 8th we have The Family Man, one of my favourite. Just movies in general.
Yeah, that's good.
Nick Cage.
You had your Disney short for before that.
Yeah, which was Donald Snowfight.
Yeah.
The Family Man, brilliant movie.
Yeah, Nick
I
Cage.
love it. Again, it's a riff on It's a Wonderful Life or Groundhog Day sort of thing where he it's like that thing where you are, I wish I wasn't born, which is the Wonderful Life version. But this version is like, what would have happened if I didn't let the love of my life go off on an aeroplane? And,
that's right.
Or what if I went with her or, whatever. Yeah. And he sort of goes to sleep and he wakes up and he's a family man.
Sliding doors, is it called?
Yeah, similar to that kind of thing. Where it's like, an alternate version on your reality.
Yeah.
Depending on your different...
It's a good film.
Change, yeah. Love it. Nick Cage.
Some really beautiful moments in that film.
What's the... Taya Leone plays the wife or the ex-love.
Yeah.
Brilliant movie. I love it. So we'll definitely watch that this year. Christmas with the Cranks. Oh, Lord.
Move on.
Tim Allen, yeah.
Move on.
Yeah, moving along. It's okay once or twice again, but then it's one of those ones that just gets a bit tedious after
just
a while.
watch it once. You don't need to watch it any more than that.
The 10th, which was a Sunday, we had classic movie Sunday afternoon matinee. And this was usually just me watching these. The Shop Around the Corner. I adore this movie. It's got James Stewart, and I feel like it is one that just doesn't get enough recognition anymore because they remade it as You've Got Mail.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And the shop that she works, because she works at a bookstore and You've Got Mail, and the shop is called The Shop Around the Corner.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right.
That. Yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of You've Got Mail. That's like that one Tom Hanks romantic comedy that I never really loved. But stuff like the other one that he did with Meg Ryan, Sleepless in Seattle. Just adore that. But You've Got Mail, I didn't love. And I don't think that one's set at Christmas either, You've Got Mail. But Shop Around the Corner is.
I can't remember.
But a brilliant movie. James Stewart, he's one of my absolute favourites. And I think maybe even because James Stewart was in It's a Wonderful Life, that one overshadows Shop Around the Corner. And they actually they've just issued that on Blu-ray this year, Shop Around the Corner. So I have to
get it.
Yeah. It's like $35 though, so I'm waiting for it to go down in price. That might be one for next year.
Yeah.
It's one of the Warner Archive ones.
After Christmas, I'll drop the price, but after Christmas.
Well, the Warner Archive ones I can usually get for about $19 when they're on special, so I won't be paying $35 for it. I've got the DVD.
No, exactly.
I'll run the DVD if I want to watch it this year. And then that evening, because it was a Sunday, is The Holiday, which is, of course, Cameron Diaz, Jude Law, Kate Winslet,
Love it.
Jack Black. Great film.
Good film. Really good
Great
film. And the old guy, what's his name?
Crikey. He passed away not long ago. Eli Wallace.
That's right.
Yes. Brilliant. Of course, was in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
As a much younger man. And he's just terrific.
Really beautiful film.
Really great movie. Heartwarming, touching, really sappy, really cheesy.
Really nice story to it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great film. So I'll watch that again. Usually, your brother doesn't usually join us, but his wife does. So my aunt.
Yeah, that's right.
And the kids or the
the cousins,
like my age now. So the cousins come. The cousins and my aunt, they usually come and they'll watch the Holiday with us every year.
Not Benny though. Does
I don't
Benny watch
know.
That one?
I don't think so. I don't think he likes it.
It'll be Emily.
It's just Emily, and then probably have
boyfriend Danny.
So they'll come and they'll watch that without fail every year. Then on the Friday, the 14th, we had Disney. So then we skipped like a whole week again that year, but you're getting the gist of it really. So then that next Friday we watched Chip and Dale, which was a Disney Christmas short.
Yep.
We followed that by Trading Places, which was of course Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Yep.
Brilliant, hilarious movie. And I feel like I probably haven't watched it since then. I actually have a feeling we may not have watched it that year, but it's on the schedule. So I don't remember watching it.
Too far back for me.
But it is set on Christmas Day, or like it sort of starts at Christmas, and a great movie. Very funny. One of the classic comedies of all time. And then Saturday the 15th, we did Home Alone and Home Alone 2, which I feel like was probably that year.
That year that you said with Jackson and Tim and Lockie
and then we also had Die Hard and Die Hard 2 scheduled. I don't think we did all four of those movies. I feel like we watched Home Alone and Home Alone 2 and went, no, I'm done for the night now. I'm done. But we would have definitely watched Die Hard that year.
Do every year.
Do every year. So that might have got changed. We might have changed that to another night. Sometimes they change. We don't stick to it like 100% all the time. But Die Hard, we are in the camp that believe that, yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
It's set at a Christmas party.
There's a debate. There's a big debate.
Yep.
But it's set at a Christmas party, and it has all those classic Christmas
trading
themes.
places in the same boat,
Exactly the
isn't it?
same, yeah. It's just set on the background of Christmas.
Exactly right.
But it's got all the classic themes of Christmas. Family, togetherness, love and happiness.
Blowing shit up. Arguments.
Terrorists and gunfights and slicing your feet on shards of glass. Oh,
yeah.
it's
All
just
fun family Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
But it's set against the backdrop of a Christmas... A work Christmas party.
And it does have a heart at it because this guy's going up against terrorists because he wants to save his wife.
And
struggling relationship, falling apart, or his ex-wife, and their relationship's falling apart. He just wants to get it back together for the Christmas season.
Yeah.
You know, it's just got a great heart to it.
Yeah.
Brilliant film.
It's a good film.
But lots of explosions and gunfights too.
Yeah.
It's a bit of fun.
So you got
to mix it up a bit.
Bruce
Willis
film.
Yeah. We don't always watch Die Hard and Die Hard 2. I think most movies is just the first one.
Or Die Hard 2. Die Hard.
He's just Die Hard but in an airport.
Yeah.
He's fighting the terrorist stuff in the airport.
Yeah, that's right.
Good movie, but again, it's that same as Home Alone, where it's that same movie done twice. And it's set on Christmas as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's happened again at an airport this time. Oh no.
I think you'd hate Christmas after that, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And then they made bloody 3 other movies. None of them were set on Christmas though. The following Sunday did classic movie Sunday afternoon matinee. It Happened on Fifth Avenue, which is a film I love. This is one that I feel not too many people even know about. And this is also being issued on Blu-ray through Warner Archive Collection this year. I have to get it. I can't even remember who's in this film. It's no one that's like huge. I'm just looking it up here. Essentially, it's this rich guy moves out of his house for the Christmas season, and at Christmas he will move to his holiday house, and these homeless people move into the house and kind of take over the house over Christmas. I've just typed in It Happened One Night instead of It Happened on Fifth Avenue. It Happened One Night's a brilliant movie too, but it's not a Christmas movie. This one has got who's in it? Don DeFore, who's terrific. He's in a lot of these great older movies that are not classics, but he's very good. Anne Harding, Charles Ruggles, Victor Moore, Gale Storm is in that. Oh, it's such a brilliant film.
Gale Force.
Yeah, 1947. If you want like a classic Christmas film, beautiful movie. I love it. Of course they get... Oh, wait, I won't spoil it, but it's a good film. And then that evening, which was because it was a Sunday, we did Love Actually. And I feel like the aunt and the cousins all come around for that one as well.
Yeah.
Because it's one we just all love.
Jo normally does for that
Love
one.
it, yeah.
She loves that one.
Adore it. I just love it so much.
It's a good film. It's a really well-made film.
It's hilarious and just great.
Yep.
The following Monday, that year we did a classic Christmas sitcom night, 3 hours of classic sitcom Christmas episodes. So this would have been me and Tim. Tim always makes me do the sitcom night. And I think we had a few people, a few other mates came over that evening as well. And that's stuff like Friends, Frasier, The Office, the Office Christmas episode where it's the Secret Santa and the limit's like $20, but Michael buys an iPod.
That's right.
iPod.
Of course, we're talking about the American
version, yeah. And then the Frasier one. There's a Frasier Christmas episode called Frasier Grinch, where he's got his son's coming over for Christmas, and he buys him all these like geeky, sciencey presents for Christmas, and the box arrives and it's not what he ordered.
Yep.
So then he has to go to the mall for the first time in his life to find these nerdy gifts for his son, and the store's closed. Yeah. So he has to buy him it's just so funny.
But luckily, his old man comes to the rescue.
Yeah, Marty comes to the rescue with the gift that the kid actually wants. He passed away not long ago either. Yeah. Oh, very sad. So, that was a big Christmas sitcom night. Always have to do that, squeeze in the sitcoms. There is another Frasier episode, but we'll talk about that later on. It's one I watch every single Christmas Eve. We'll get that soon. The 19th of December that year was a Tuesday. We did Disney Christmas short Winter Storage, and we watched The Grinch with Jim Carrey. which is a classic, but I feel like that's also one of those ones where you just watch one too many times.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit much.
And you can watch, 5 years later.
Yeah. Well, I bought the 4K of that. I paid full price for the 4K about 3 years ago. Must have been this year. I don't think we watched it that year because I haven't watched the 4K yet. I bought it full price. I was like, I have to watch this on Christmas, and then didn't watch it.
Didn't.
And then that year we followed that with Jack Frost, which one you love.
That's good. Yeah, I like the Jack Frost one. Michael Keaton, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a really nice little film, that.
Yeah, he's a father. And
Yeah, and he gets killed in a car accident and comes back as Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
But that's a great film. It's a really, really enjoyable little film.
Yeah,
that.
so
really
good.
do enjoy that one.
Yeah.
So that's a must watch.
That's
for us
always a
every
must. And it's they usually Channel 9 usually plays that on Christmas Eve in the afternoon or Christmas Day in the afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah. Here in Australia, the 20th, which was a Wednesday, we started with a Charlie Brown Christmas.
Oh, love it.
Yeah,
love that.
I feel like I've watched it too many times recently because I've just done my Charlie Brown video, so I've been dealing with that for a week. But we'll watch it again.
Love it.
And we followed that with A Christmas Carol 2009. Which is the Jim Carrey version of the mocap.
The animated, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
A lot of people hate it.
Really well-made film.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like that mocap stuff or that motion performance stuff.
Yeah, no, it's I enjoy that.
Beautiful film.
Yeah.
So it's like an animation double. But Charlie Brown Christmas is like the ultimate Christmas special.
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah, and I learned while I was doing my Charlie Brown video is that it is the most watched or most played Christmas special ever, and is probably the single most watched television special of any kind in history. Yeah.
Wow.
So there you go. Brilliant little thing. The following night, which was a Thursday, the 21st, we're getting closer to Christmas, so the really good movies are coming up. It's Christmas time again. Charlie Brown we started with, which was the sort of follow-up to a Charlie Brown Christmas, but like made in the 90s.
Yep.
Which is... It's good, but it's not as good.
It's not the original classic.
No. And the main movie for that night, I've said, this is the really great ones, but the one that night was I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Which one?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh yeah,
where he gets stuck.
one of your favorites.
Yeah, I love it.
You love it.
I love it so much. I grew up with it. Disney film. It's a terrible movie. Like if you've never watched it before, you would probably think this is trash. Yeah. But because I grew up with it, it's just that nostalgic film for me.
It's an indulgence.
Adore it. Yeah. He gets stuck in the desert for Christmas. These bullies put him in the desert for Christmas and super glue a Santa hat to his head, and he has to find his way home for Christmas or he doesn't get the car.
No money or anything in his pocket.
Oh, it's just a fun movie.
Yeah.
The 22nd, which was a Friday, we did a Disney Christmas short, On Ice, which is the Donald Duck one and Huey, Dewey and Louie.
Oh,
Such
yeah,
a great one.
Yeah, that's good.
They're playing like hockey.
Yep.
And we watched Alf that night.
Love Elf.
Love Elf. Will
That
Ferrell,
is fantastic.
just so good. That's one that would just never get old.
No. We watch that every year. Mm-hmm. Every year we watch that.
Yeah.
And we'll watch it again this year.
Yeah.
It's one of your mum's favourites too.
She loves it. Just a great, funny movie.
Yeah. It's real Will Ferrell.
Oh yeah, like Height. Will Ferrell Height.
Yeah.
I reckon that was the movie that really kind of put him on that really well known.
Maybe.
Because that was even before Anchorman.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. So it was in high
I didn't
school.
realise that.
Yeah. So that was one of his very, very early films. That's when you start to realise how old it actually is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fun. And then we followed that with Scrooged, which is the Bill Murray modern, and when I say modern, I mean 1980s version of A Christmas Carol.
Mm.
So he's like a
That's good too,
TV exec and just a terrible guy.
It's a good remake.
Yeah,
of it.
I love it. We'll watch that every few years.
Bill Murray films.
Yeah. The 23rd, we're getting close to Christmas. Disney Christmas short, Toy Tinkers. And we followed that with one of the all-time classics, The Santa Claus.
Oh, yes.
Tim Allen.
Love it.
That is just a classic.
Love it.
Again, another one I grew up with as a kid, a Disney Christmas movie that is just amazing.
Yeah.
Funny, sweet, touching, heartwarming. It's one of those ones that will never get old.
No. It'll last forever, that one.
Yeah.
Can't say much about, 2 or 3.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's why they're not on there.
Exactly right.
Some years we did watch at least the second one, but I think we only ever watched the third one once. The one with Martin Short and he was Jack Frost.
That's tripe.
Terrible. But the second one is pretty ordinary, But I really like, because you've got two things going on there. He leaves the North Pole to come back, and he wants to find he has to find the Mrs. Claus.
That's right.
So I really like the story or the plot about him trying to find the wife, and he finds this woman that he falls for, and I love that story. But it's interspersed with that toy Santa. You know, they build the toy clone of Santa in the North Pole, and it's awful. It's so bad. It's just trash. Yeah. Terrible. So it's like, do you watch it? You have to sit through all this crap just to watch the bit you really like. It's tough. So most years we won't watch that now. And then we follow that with another classic film called Holiday Inn, which you have to watch every year. Bing Crosby.
It's a great old film, that.
It's just so good.
Yeah, love it. Love that one. That's
good.
It was a Bing Crosby and
Fred Astaire in that one. Holiday Inn. It's been a while since I've seen it. A couple of years since I've seen it now. I believe it is.
A lot of these we haven't watched because you were overseas and whatever. We haven't sort of sat and watched them.
Yeah, that's the one with Fred Astaire. Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire and Marjorie Reynolds. Yeah, that's a really good one. So that's the one where they... it's confusing because this one and again White Christmas are very similar movies. They use the same sets. They used a lot of some of the same songs are repeated in them. The plot's very, very similar, so I get confused every year. But this is the one where they have a popular New York City musical act. On Christmas Eve, Jim prepares his final performance before retiring with Leela to a farm in Connecticut. Leela tells Jim she's fallen in love with Ted instead. Heartbroken, Jim bids them goodbye. And they go to the Holiday Inn, and the White Christmas song was written for Holiday Inn.
Oh, okay.
So they're both films with music by Irving Berlin, but White Christmas was written for Holiday Inn, and then a number of years later they went and did White Christmas. So they're both
confusing.
I get confused with them both because they're both so similar. So the following night up, but they're both great films. Yeah. Great film. So then the 24th, Christmas Eve, this was a massive day. Watch Jingle All the Way in the morning. I love it. Now this is my traditional Christmas Eve movie, and it has been for years, forever. And it's not a brilliant film. It's a pretty ordinary movie, but it is, again, another one of those nostalgic Christmas films that I just love because I've watched it so many times. Arnold Schwarzenegger, very young Jake Lloyd, and he has to get the Turbo Man doll. Got to get the Turbo Man doll. That's terrible. He's got to get Turbo Man for his son. And then goes up against Sinbad. Oh, Sinbad. And Sinbad's trying to get the Turbo Man doll for his son. Not a brilliant film, but it's just fun. And
what are the reindeers' names?
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Donner, Cupid, Donner, Vixen. Dasher, Prancer, Dancer, Vixen, Donner, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer. You idiot. I love it. I love it so much. Such a good film. It's a sick world we're living in. Sick people. Put that cookie down now. Just so many great lines. But that one became a Christmas Eve tradition for me.
James Belushi too.
James Belushi. He's the Santa.
He's the.
Who is he in that? Oh yeah, he's at the very beginning. Yeah. He's the dodgy Santa Claus.
Dodgy Santa.
Yeah. And it's got Phil
Hartman.
The one
that sells in the dodgy.
Yeah, the dodgy Turbo Man. And Phil Hartman's in it too.
Yeah.
Late great Phil Hartman.
Yep.
No, he's terrific in that as Ted, the next door neighbor. Yeah. But that one became a traditional Christmas Eve film for me because it was the only Christmas movie we had on VHS other than the one we watched on Christmas Day. Yeah. So that was like the only one I had, and I just watched it every year. So it became a tradition. That evening, we watched Miracle on 34th Street, the 1994 version. This is one of, very, very few movies which is as good as the original one. Yeah. I love both versions. Maybe that's because I grew up with it and it's a nostalgic thing.
Maybe. But no, because I enjoy that as much as the original as well.
But it's both of them are so good. And this one's got Richard Attenborough in the role of Santa Claus. Just terrific. Yep. And then we followed that with White Christmas. An evening.
Just a great Christmas film.
Again, we said it before. This is the one with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye.
Yeah.
All right, but it's the other one.
Vera Ellen and
Clooney. Rosemary Clooney.
George Clooney's aunt,
I think, yeah. That's great too. And then, Holiday Inn is Bing Crosby and Fred Astaire. But yeah, White Christmas is great too. Really, really good movie where they're at a Holiday Inn putting on a performance.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Love that film.
And that evening, Christmas Eve evening, I will always watch Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. It's usually when I get in bed and I just want to just close off my Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. I love it. The Mr. Bean Christmas. That is so Christmas to me. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I've watched it since I was a kid.
Yeah, maybe.
I grew up watching Mr. Bean.
And you went to sleep and you woke up and Santa had
Yeah,
been.
probably. But it's just that is one of the things that just feels like Christmas to me. Merry Christmas, Mr. Bean. It just makes me feel excited for Christmas. I don't know. I feel like the Brits do the best Christmas stuff. I don't know why. But Love Actually, Mr. Bean. But most of these movies, of course, are American. But I feel there's something just so special about those British Christmas things. It's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe it is because I love Mr. Bean so much. And then I will always watch Frasier Miracle on 3rd or 4th Street, which is a season 1 episode. And this is the one where he's forced to work on Christmas evening at the radio station. Yeah. Yep. And he's really depressed and he's sad that he can't be with his son for Christmas and his family for Christmas, and he's having to deal with all these loonies calling into the radio who are all depressed because they've got no one on Christmas, and he's dealing with everyone else's problems, and then Roz is there giving him a hard time because she's been forced to stay back for Christmas, and then he eventually just lets her go, and it's just him by himself dealing with these loonies. And then at the end...
Was that the one where they're having the party with, what's his name, the Bulldog?
Bulldog at the very beginning of the episode, yeah. So it's just a brilliant... I love it. It's just so sweet and touching. And at the end of the episode is just a really nice scene where I won't spoil it. You got to search this episode out if you haven't seen it. I love it. I adore it. And then we get to the Christmas Day, the big one. In the morning, we always have to watch.
The 2 greatest Christmas films made, in my opinion. Yeah. These 2.
So in the morning, we will always watch...
It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah, what a great film.
Donald Reed.
That is the ultimate Christmas film.
Yeah, and it's hardly even set on Christmas Day.
And one of my mates tries to come around every year to watch that. Doesn't often get here, but he always says, when you're playing it, I've got to come around and watch that one.
Oh, we've got that on 4K now. So we haven't watched
beautiful.
on 4K yet.
Yeah.
I got that last year, but I think we missed it last year. Yeah. Hot dog. I love that movie.
Know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I wish I had $1 million.
Again, it's that thing where he wishes, I wish I'd never been born. And then he wakes up the next day and he hadn't been born. And he sees what life would have been like if he wasn't born, and shows like how he has actually influenced
people
around him and the city and everything. And everything's just turned to absolute crap. Everything's turned to 2020 when he wakes up, really.
Yeah.
All the shops are closed and people are out of business and the bank's shutting down and people have died, and all because, of the influence he had on people. Such a beautiful film. And then we cap off Christmas evening with Christmas Vacation.
The greatest Christmas comedy ever made.
It is terrific.
In our opinion.
Terrific, yep.
Absolutely love it.
Yep.
And no matter what time, if we've been out, to family's place for Christmas dinner or whatever, even if we get home at midnight, it still goes on.
Yeah.
And often we'll fall asleep during it and get up and watch it the next day.
Yeah. And it's usually on Channel 9. We'll always play it too on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So it's even if we're at like Nan's for Christmas, it'll be on telly in the background.
That's right. Yeah.
And you catch bits and pieces, and then that evening you watch it, you go back and watch it.
Yeah.
And if we do, for some reason, not get to it on Christmas Day, it's a Christmas or Boxing Day. You watch it the next day.
Yeah.
I just love it.
Cousin Eddie.
Cousin Eddie. Yeah, shitter was full.
Shitter's full. Yeah.
Just so many great lines, so many great bits. But that is our personal ultimate Christmas movie. Now, you probably noticed stuff on here, stuff like Nightmare Before Christmas wasn't on there. Again, I'm not a huge fan of that. You're not really huge on that one. Polar Express, a lot of people love. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I don't say I hate movies a lot, but Polar Express is a movie that I'm very close to just hating because I
can't say I hate it.
I don't like it.
It's just a
terrible movie. Terrible. But stuff like that, yeah. But so that is our ultimate Christmas marathon, all the movies that we just really love. And I know a lot of people have been writing in, asking what my favourite Christmas movies are, what our favourite Christmas movies are, I've had a few people saying, what's your schedule like? We thought we'd just kind of give you an idea of how we do it. You obviously do your own with your own favourite ones. Just keep, that kind of idea that you watch the really, really good ones the closer you get to Christmas, and just kind of stagger some other ones throughout the month. Throw in some shorts and specials if you can, some sitcom episodes, Michael Scott giving away an iPod as part of Secret Santa. Just great. Then you've got other stuff. I've got just a very small short list here of movies that are set during Christmas, but not necessarily thought of as Christmas movies. Batman Returns, Iron Man 3, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. That's
set against Christmas.
Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. Yeah, it's set at Christmas. Or the beginning of it. Such a good film. That was like the beginning of his comeback, Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, that was prior to Iron Man. I remember watching it geez, he's real good. He's still good. He's got it. Harry Potter. I know a lot of people watch Harry Potter over Christmas. There's one Christmas scene, but it's like this series of films, particularly Philosopher's Stone. People watch it at Christmas because I think it might just because it's so fantastical and magical and just happy. Just that kind of really does fit in with that sort of Christmassy kind of thing. I know Blake, who's one of the patrons, one of the long-time followers.
Blake Eisen.
Yeah, Blake Eisen. He was watching the Harry Potter films. I saw him posting on Twitter that he's been watching them. A lot of people do watch the Harry Potter films, but I kind of get it because that feeling, that really happy kind of feeling you get, particularly from that first film. I think Gremlins as well. He gets the Gremlins for Christmas and they run riot.
That's one a lot of people say is not a Christmas film.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah, for sure.
It's set against Christmas.
Yeah.
So why shouldn't it be?
So there you go. That's it. That's it for all our Christmas movie talk. We've got a few questions.
But there's a shitload more.
There's so many more. And I mean, I'm sure there's more that we
find what you like and just get into them.
Yeah. It's such a fun way. This year has been an awful year. I understand there's a lot of people out there who are having a rough time for one reason or another. And these Christmas movies are always just a way to just cheer you up and just make you happy and just give you a smile. If it's just for a couple of hours or for and the whole idea is stretch it out over a month. Have a really good month. Just really happy month. Just forget everything while you're watching. And I think this year, more than any other year, it's needed. Yeah. So get into it.
And we used to. I would every year. I would take a photo of the screen before we started watching, and then post it up on Facebook, and then get people comments and stuff. Oh, you're going to watch this one. You're going to watch that. And I got one particular cousin, Flip, who started his own marathon with his kids. His wife passed away a couple of years ago. So he sits and watches Christmas films with his kids every year now, and he'll always post something up and tag me in on it. And so we're watching this one tonight, Rick. All sorts of stuff.
There's a few people I feel like we rubbed off on that way. They do their own little mini marathons, or whatever. Tim and Wacko Jacko are always saying to me, "When's the marathon list coming out?" This year I said, but there's probably no list this year. Yeah, but, even people at work like Marshy and that, they sort of get into it and go, "What's on the schedule for tonight?" Sort of thing, Yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
That's good fun.
I'd recommend it if you've never done it before. Get into it, give it a try.
Yeah, that's a really good way to celebrate Christmas. And just spend time with with your kids or. Your parents or your family or whoever, and
friends,
whatever
anyone, all by yourself.
Yeah, whatever your situation is, just really enjoy it with the people you love and the people you want to be around.
Yeah, even if it's just yourself.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, some pure indulgent films in there,
exactly
particularly on your behalf.
Yeah, well, exactly right.
Anyway,
but that is it. That's our one. That's our favourite Christmas movies. There's so many more out there. I should give a shout out actually. Give me a second. I'm just grabbing something from over here. These are a bunch of Christmas movie box sets that have just been released from Shock Entertainment. They sent them over to me. So if you're just need to grab a couple of Christmas movie box sets, they've got like these Christmas movie collections. These are all just like tally movie kind of things, like family films. Particularly if you've got a family, these are probably
good little gifts for
good gifts for family or younger
for
ones.
Granny and
A Star for Christmas, Snowman's. A Perfect Christmas, just movies like this, just tally films, A Snow White Christmas, Finding Father Christmas. But they're good for families and, if you're kind of lost for what I understand a lot of these movies aren't family films. Most of them are, but some of them maybe not. So if you just want to find a way to kind of pad out your Christmas marathon with movies to watch with the kids and family,
great.
They're really good and they really Really inexpensive to
Yeah,
grab as
and
well.
they're just
so.
really watchable films.
Yeah.
Really.
So there you go. That's it then for all the Christmas movies. We're bordering on 2 hours again. Didn't want this to happen this week.
No, we wanted to be out of here in an hour and a half.
Yeah. Do we want to just do a couple of questions this week from people? We'll go. We'll smash through them.
Yeah, well, I think that first one there, I think we did that last week.
Let me have a look at my. I don't even know.
Anyway, I'll start off with one
Yeah, yeah.
anyway. Pete Semos.
Hang on. I think you might have last week's one open.
Have I?
Yeah.
No, I can't have.
Oh, yeah. That's weird because you've got different questions than I do.
Have I?
Yeah.
What have you done?
I don't know.
Well, you're going to have to read them out. I can't.
Do you want to?
read them
I'll
over there.
swap them over here to you.
You might want to-
No, that's not even really doing anything, I don't think.
What's that?
Just this one here. You can unplug that.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry. There you go. I don't know what's happened there, but you wound up with all of last week's questions.
Don't know what you're doing
Anyway.
there, Dave. Tom Baudouin.
Yep.
Got it right.
You got it right this week.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks for recommending Auntie Donna. My fiance and I are loving it. My question, what movie or movie series have you been dying to rewatch for ages but just can't seem to get time for?
Oh. There are so many movies I try to watch like every year or so, but because this year I've been just watching new stuff. Like I got like if you've been listening, you know I've got hundreds of movies that I haven't watched. I've been trying to get through them all this year. So stuff like the Pirates of the Caribbean movies I would usually watch every year. This year I haven't had the time to. I really want to rewatch the Lord of the Rings movies, but they're just so long. I just don't have time.
Yeah.
They've just come out on 4K, so eventually I'll get them and find time to watch them.
For me to be Harry Potter.
Yeah, oh yeah.
To go back and watch them because I haven't seen them all.
No.
But I'd like to go back over the whole lot and see them.
Yep. Next.
Javier Acevedo.
Yep.
Hey guys, big fans of the channel. Thanks, Javier. Just wondering, what is the worst Blu-ray or 4K UHD transfer you guys have ever seen or owned? For me, it's the Predator Ultimate Hunter Edition. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day. Keep being awesome. Thanks, Javier.
Thank you.
We'll try.
We'll try. I feel like with the 4Ks, we've got so many movies now that most of the 4K stuff is just stuff we're upgrading. So I feel like I will always wait for a review before upgrading to 4K before you buy the film another time.
Yep.
So we haven't really bought too many that are bad. I've heard that Goodfellas is really terrible, so I've stayed away from that. But one that I did pre-order before reviews because I just couldn't wait to get my hands on it. I think it was only $18 or something. Was Terminator 2. It was awful.
Really?
Really waxy, like DNR'd to death, and just there's no detailing. The colors are way over the top. It's terrible.
What about Deadwood?
Deadwood?
Yeah, TV. Deadwood.
Well, it's not 4K Blu-ray.
No, it's
a terrible Blu-ray.
It's
Yeah,
just awful.
Yeah.
It says here, worst Blu-ray or 4K.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go.
Like
Yeah,
the image on that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And this is season 2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pretty bad, and the audio was dreadful.
all over the place.
Out of sync and everything,
Yeah.
and echoey. And
Terrible. Yeah, there you
It
go.
was
Deadwood
awful.
takes the cake. Next.
Mr. Josh,
Yep.
outside of Star Wars, what's another science fiction franchise that you really enjoy?
Not huge on sci-fi. I don't know. Maybe something like I don't know. Sci-fi franchise. You wouldn't consider something like Lord of the Rings sci-fi, really. That's more like fantasy.
Nothing really, 'cause you're not
know.
really into Star Trek or
No.
anything like that.
Maybe Planet of the Apes. That's science fiction.
Yeah,
Planet
maybe.
of the Apes films are really
Yeah.
good, I would say, probably, yeah. I think we missed one just there.
Yeah, I'm back to that one. Mayo Cordero.
Yeah.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the upcoming movies that are in 2021? Are you ready to have Christmas with your family?
We're ready for Christmas.
We're all ready
This
for
whole
Christmas.
show's been about Christmas. Beautiful.
And just so we can get past 2020.
Exactly. And yeah, all the movies that are coming out in 2021 that should have been out in 2020, I can't wait for. Let's get on with it. Yeah.
Freya?
Yeah.
What's that how you pronounce it?
Freya? I don't know. I think so, yeah. Apologies.
Apologies, yeah, of course. Video game icons like Mario and Sonic. They did cartoon series and movies. Is there a cartoon evolution for them coming soon?
I wouldn't say there's one coming soon. I've always said I probably won't do video game characters. This is cartoon evolution, it's not video game evolution, but I feel like characters like Sonic and Mario are just characters that have just, gone beyond their video games, movies and TV shows, and they've just become larger than life, larger than one thing. So they're probably characters I will touch on at one point, but I don't have any current plans for that. Yeah.
Okay, Ross the Film Critic. Hey,
Yep.
Dave, can I ask for advice from you for me?
Yep.
From you for me and everyone who are new to YouTube, how to reach 1,000 subscribers and how to be popular on YouTube. Thank you.
Interesting.
Persistence.
Persistence, that's it.
That's it.
I
Be
still,
original
Yeah.
and be persistent.
Yeah, well.
It takes years.
Well, exactly. I've been doing it 4 years now, this channel. And
Well,
that's
full time, yeah.
That's literally all it is be persistent and make sure you have a schedule, and whether that's once a day or once a week or once a month, make sure you're constantly putting out stuff. Make sure you are creating content. I always say make content that people are searching for, not content that someone's just going to stumble across.
Yep.
You want to make stuff that people are actually going to be watching. So if that means reviewing new movies instead of old movies, I would love to talk about stuff like Casablanca or James Dean or Audrey Hepburn, Marilyn Monroe films. Doesn't get views.
No.
So I don't do that stuff.
No.
I concentrate on stuff that is popular because it's the stuff people are watching.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to grow. That's the only way you're going to get views. People are going to keep coming to you. I'm on 75,000 subscribers. I still don't think I'd be considered popular on YouTube, so I can't give you advice on how to be popular. But to grow your subscriber or to grow your community, you just need to be persistent and just need to be making that content constantly, and content people are watching and want to keep coming back for.
And it's and there's this quality aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
And then Casey Neistat said it best, and his view was turn up to work every day.
Yeah.
In other words, if you're putting out content once a week, make sure it's out the same day every week, same time every week.
Yeah.
If you're doing it every day, do it every day.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. It was
Yeah.
like if it's going to be one a week or one a day or what, just make sure you're consistent. But for me, I think when he was saying show up every day he was like trying, because he was doing the daily vlog at one point.
That's right.
But for me, it is I might not get a video up every day, but every day I'm working on something.
Yep.
So I'm making sure that I might not have a video up for a week, but I'm working on a video that will go up.
And I can vouch for that. And they're long days. They're 12, 14-hour days every day.
And you don't need to do that at first. You just need to make sure you are consistent with what you're doing. That's it. Just be consistent and
Yeah. And there's an originality aspect to it too.
Well, yeah. You'll
Don't
find
try
your
and
groove.
copy what other people are doing. Find your groove. Find what you enjoy.
Yeah. It's okay to do the same kind of thing. I know a lot of people do ranking videos. A lot of people do reviews. You can do what other people are doing, but do it
In your own
way.
way.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyway,
right.
next one, because we're...
Fandom Fair. If you had to create a Disney spin-off show for an animated movie, what character would it be about?
A Disney spin-off show from an animated movie. I'd love to see The Rock's character from Moana get a show, Maui.
Oh, yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
James Lorna.
Yep.
If you could start your own streaming service, what would it be called, and what would you put on it?
Oh, I'd call it the Dave Lee Down Under streaming service. I feel like I just put a bunch of stuff up on there that doesn't get a good copy on the other streaming services. You don't get a lot of classic movies on any streaming services at the moment. Maybe just a bunch of great classic stuff. If Disney weren't so, had such a tight grasp on their stuff, if they were, licensing stuff out, you put some great classic Disney stuff on there. Big blockbusters. What Netflix used to be, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think there'd be a big slant on like classic stuff that doesn't get on any of the other streaming services because it just doesn't get the view it deserves anymore, I believe.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. That is it. That's it for our Christmas show. I didn't want to go to 2 hours today. But it's happened again. And I apologise if these episodes are too long, but I feel we get away with it today because it was a Christmas special.
Yep.
So, of course, these podcasts go out every single Monday on all podcasting platforms, including Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and Audible. The visual element is also available on YouTube, and that goes out 2 days earlier to Patreon supporters at patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, over on Twitter, Instagram. There's links for that down in the description below if you want to click through them, and you can head straight over there. Follow me, give me some support. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review and a rating.
Good ones.
Good ones only. Certainly does help, those good ones. YouTube preview. Last week, I released my Snoopy, Charlie Brown and Peanuts evolution video. And my Charlie Brown voice evolution went up as well. They're doing okay. But if you haven't checked that one out yet, check those ones right out because they're finally up. It was a little bit delayed, but I got it up there in the end. My review for Disney Plus's Godmother went up last week as well, so you can check that one out. This week, I'm mostly working on my upcoming evolution, which is on The Grinch. It's going to be another evolution short, so it'll probably like a 10-15 minute
You just gave it away. Everybody's guessing what it's going to be.
I've already announced it.
Yeah, not everybody heard that.
Well, they have now. There we go. It's The Grinch, and that's coming out very soon. It's going to be another short one because I'm just feeling so burnt out on evolutions at the moment. I did two
There's not a
last
huge
month.
history on the Grinch anyway, is
No.
there?
There's the book, there's the original special, there's a couple of movies. It's just been a nice, easy one for me to close the year out with. So that one, I'll be working on that. That's not out until next week. But I'll also be loading my review for the upcoming Disney Plus movie Safety and a couple of interviews with the lead star Jay Reeves and director Originals Hudland. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you once again for listening. Again, thanks to the New Zealand Mint for sponsoring the show.
Thanks, guys.
Of course, go and check them out.
Get on and check them out. It is awesome.
Their new Lord of the Rings silver foil is gorgeous, and they've got some other amazing stuff on there.
And it's an actual legal tender. It's a $2. It's a $2 coin.
Yeah.
It'll cost you $200 to buy.
Yeah,
It's a
collectible piece, and it is well worth the money.
Oh, without doubt.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining me, old mate Rick, once again.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you out there for watching.
Thanks,
enjoy your Christmas
listeners
movies
and watchers.
Yeah, enjoy your Christmas season. Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas!
We'll keep the Christmas theme up for the next couple of
Yeah, I
weeks.
think we'll leave this up. What do you reckon?
We won't be talking full Christmas stuff.
but we'll leave all this up and make it a bit festive.
Yeah, awesome.
Alrighty, let's sign out.
Okay,
before
guys.
we cross over 2 hours.
Take care.
See you later, guys.
Stay safe. Bye.